talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by Fan Centre.
In sports, every now and then someone does just that and comes up with a crazy idea for an exhibition event that nobody else could have dreamt up. Here are some of the most iconic we've ever seen. I mean, what an image. This was the setting for the Battle of the Surfaces in 2007 between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. The courts in Nadal's home of Mallorca reportedly took 19 days to build and cost £1.2 million. The players had to change their shoes every time they changed ends, and despite some dodgy bits of grass, they slugged out an epic three-setter, won by Nadal. But that's not even the most famous exhibition in tennis, because in 1973, we got the Battle of the Sexes, watched by 50 million people in the US alone. Billie Jean King's victory over Bobby Riggs was not only a landmark event for entertainment value, but also for its impact on the fight for gender equality in sports. I mean, the Battle of the Surfaces never got turned into a movie. Now, imagine a motor race that involved American Indy cars and European F1 cars. Well, that happened twice, back in 1957 and 58. The race of the two worlds took place at Monza and was nicknamed Monzanapolis. Despite legends like Sterling Moss, Phil Hill and Mike Hawthorne racing the F1 cars, the Americans won both years. Fans and the teams loved it, but it didn't make enough money, so got canned. For its cast list alone, though, the greatest exhibition might have to go to the Princess Diana Memorial match at Lord's. Mike Atherton captained a Marylebone Cricket Club side, with Sachin Tendulkar leading a rest of the world 11. Names like Wasim Akram, Sourav Ganguly, Andy Flower and Neil Kumble and Glenn McGrath turned out. The one-dayer, won by the rest of the world by 6 wickets, raised more than £1 million for the Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. Incredible all round.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it! Oh!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, everybody from Cheltenham. You're listening to Jim White, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor, and we are live on talkSPORT. So, a nightmare evening for Spurs, who are hammered 5-2 by Atletico Madrid. Where do they go from here? Meanwhile, Newcastle pegged back by Barcelona in stoppage time. A great result or a missed opportunity? And for Liverpool, can they right their wrongs at Anfield? Also today, we'll be joined by a host of guests from our BetMGM box, including the great and the good from the world of horse racing. Hull assistant boss Dean Holden will join us live, fresh from their win at Wrexham. Plus, two-time Premier League winner and Chelsea great John Obi Mikel will be in studio with us here at Cheltenham. It's Jim White, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor, and we're live on talkSPORT.
100% engagement. Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT.
Good morning, everybody. Wednesday morning, and what a morning. We are live at Cheltenham, and as I speak, the sun has come out behind me. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch on Samsung, Fire TV, even Prime Video. We are live on your TV as well this morning. Feast your eyes on that backdrop. It is something to behold. Second day of racing here in this famous racing week, and we are live from Cheltenham Racecourse. day 2 of the racing, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. And it's Ladies' Day. And I give you Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor off the back of that. Good morning, everybody. We'll be bringing you coverage of the races throughout the afternoon. Alex, this is a special week. You absolutely love this week. Why is it so special to you?
This is like Christmas week for me, and actually my wife was taking the mickey because I literally couldn't sleep on Sunday night. I was that excited for this week. I hosted a Cheltenham preview in a pub local to me on Monday. I watched all the races with members of my racing club yesterday, came up last night, and can't wait to get stuck in today. It's fantastic. I love the atmosphere, I love the buzz around the place, I love the quality of racing that you get. I just love Cheltenham.
Gabby's wearing the racing cap on his head this morning. Gabby, good morning.
Good morning.
You enjoy this scene as well, right?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've been coming to Cheltenham for years, and even as a footballer, you see so many footballers that come here if they get a chance. The gaffer lets them come. Maybe they've got a day off tomorrow. But I think the crowds were up again yesterday as well, wasn't there?
It looked like a huge crowd watching on TV.
I think it was maybe 2,000 more than last year, maybe. And it's what people live for. There'll be so many people on their way now, Jim, to come and have a nice little bet, a few drinks, and their passion for horse racing. These probably people's favourites, would you say, of the year, Crookie, Cheltenham?
I think so, certainly if you're a jumps racing fan. Obviously Royal Ascot is a special occasion as well, but yeah, I think it's all about Cheltenham, and there's always a story. Yesterday, J.P. McManus, famous horse racing owner, 75th birthday, lands a big winner, and he might get another one today in the Queen Mother Champion Chase.
Well, of course, it's star-studded, isn't it? The great and the good arrive here. Harry Redknapp's horse races this Friday. I think Sir Alex Ferguson has a horse racing today. But he isn't just talkSPORT's chief football commentator and reporter, is Mr. Crook. He is also a horse owner in his own right.
Oh, really?
Now, Gabby, tune into this. When did this happen, and what have you got yourself into?
Well, it's always been an aim to get involved in owning a racehorse. I should say I only own a small percentage. It's a syndicate, the Last Orders syndicate. Obviously, we all get together at the local pub. That's where the name comes from. But yeah, we've got a 4-year-old filly. At the moment, she's called Luna, because I think there's 18, 20 of us in the group, and we all have to decide what the racing name is going to be, and that's proven a little bit tricky.
Oh, I see. So you don't have a racing name for the horse yet?
Not yet.
Gabby, we can help him out there, I think, can't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of names, Crookie.
Yeah, maybe obese. Something like that, maybe.
The Crookmeister.
Luna and Tick. Lunatic. Anyway, we should keep our voices down because Alex's horse is sleeping not far from here. It's lying flat out in a stable, having overindulged on the straw this morning in there, and the hay. It's got through a fair amount of food this morning. Alex, good luck with that. When are we going to see? We're not going to see it out there one day, are we?
Well, that would be the dream. Yeah, it's with a trainer called Chris Honour, and he has had a horse placed at the Cheltenham Festival, based down in Devon. So you never know. One day you might see me in the parade ring as an owner.
Right.
Wish you all the best, Alex.
Good luck, Alex, with it. You said this morning you'll never see a horse like this, and I think he's right. We look forward to seeing it for the first time. Let's get into events of last night. It was a nightmare evening for Spurs, hammered 5-2 by Atletico Madrid. Alex, where do we start? Where do they go from here?
Just when you think they've reached the nadir, they find a new depth to plunge, don't they, Tottenham? I mean, the start of that game was an absolute farce. I've been quite vocal about the fact I don't believe that Igor Tudor is the right appointment. I think he just proved me right last night. I mean, the way that he treated Anton Kinski, it was a gamble anyway to bring in a young goalkeeper for his Champions League debut away from home against Atletico Madrid. But to then make an example of him and haul him off and not even look at him as he was making his way off, to such an extent, I think some of the Tottenham subs literally followed him down the tunnel to console him. That is terrible man management. I think he's struggling to get the dressing room onside already. I think he's totally lost them now, Gabs.
I was watching a game. I actually started watching the Newcastle-Barcelona game, and I heard the first goal had gone in. I switched over. I started watching the Spurs game. And when I seen that happen, coming from a player's point of view, I felt for him. I thought to myself, I seen his face when he seen Vicario getting stripped ready to come on. His face was like disappointment. Like, no, I'm okay. Like, don't do it. But one thing you do as a manager, if you are going to drag a player in the first half, whatever position, you give them a hug when they come off. You don't stand with your arms folded and ignore the player coming off. Like, where's your heart as a coach? And even Jed Spence come off in the second half and had to go up to the manager. Not because he wanted to show him respect. He done that, Spence, to say, you know what? In the Premier League, when players come off, you sort of acknowledge them.
Sure.
I felt sorry for Kingsley. I thought it was a crazy decision to start him anyway. He's only played 180 minutes this season, 2 Carabao Cup games, and you put him in for a knockout game in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid away.
It reeks of desperation.
Wild decision.
Reeks of desperation.
Well, of course, big questions as to why he threw him in the first place. Igor Tudor spoke about a bunch of things afterwards, and he spoke about Kingsley in particular.
I'm coaching 15 years. I never do like this thing. It was necessary to preserve the guy, preserve the team. Incredible situation. Nothing to comment. You see. It was before the game right choice to do, right choice to do in the moment like we are, with pressure on Vicario, another competition. Tony is a very good goalkeeper. So it was for me right decision. After happened this, of course, it's easy to say that it was not right decision. So I explained to Tony also, we're speaking after, he's right guy and good goalkeeper. Unfortunately happened in this big game, these mistakes.
Gabby, you could argue it was a brave decision by Tudor to throw him in, and it backfired badly on him in that the boy himself let Tudor and the team down.
I just think that the manager, for me, is the one to blame. There were so many positions where you could have made changes, players that have been struggling this season. And then you take a young goalkeeper, throw him in the deep end, Jim. And let's be honest, the first one, he slipped. Everyone was slipping all night. Van der Ven slipped for the second goal. The third goal, he shouldn't be trying his weaker foot, passing it across his own box. That one is his mistake. Still, that isn't enough for me to bring a goalkeeper off. Let him make a save. Let him
Gabby,
get back into the game.
The players capitulated here, didn't they?
Oh, all of them did.
They fell apart.
Yeah.
It could have been me standing in the touchline. It could have been you. It was Igor Tudor. The players caved in.
But goalkeeper, wrong decision. Why not start Solanke, who's been in great form? Why not put Palhinha in that defensive midfield role? Some of the decisions he's making as a manager, the 3-4-3, it's giving me Ruben Amorim vibes as well. He doesn't have a clue. And why did they give him the job? You need a manager who's going to put an arm around the players and be their friends. This is the generation we live in now, Jim.
And they should have known that. They know what their dressing room is like. They didn't buy into what Thomas Frank was doing, and he was obviously a much softer type of manager. Igor Tudor is clearly a disciplinarian. He's only here until the end of the season. He's not going to get a tune out of these players. And it sort of came out of nowhere. The day that he was appointed, there was talk of Edin Terzic potentially coming in as an interim manager. And all of a sudden, talks ramped up with Igor Tudor. I'd love to know the thought process behind this appointment. Doesn't know the league, isn't the type of manager that the players are going to warm to, is only there on a short-term contract, which I think is a really difficult situation anyway. If he stays, I'm pretty confident they'll be in the Championship next season.
I mean, he's credited Alex for bringing about revivals. Has he actually made them worse?
Yeah, I think he has.
Gabby, he's made them worse. I mean, is this as low as it gets?
I think for me, watching the game, did Spurs capitulate? Yes, they did. But they did show a bit of bravery to get back into the game. It could have been 7 or 8-0, Jim, at one stage. But I just look at them and I'm saying to myself, if I'm a West Ham player, if I'm a Nottingham Forest player, I'm like, we're gonna stay up. If I'm Nottingham Forest going into that game against Spurs in a couple of weeks, I'm getting after them. I'm backing Nottingham Forest to win that game. Spurs need a change. We said it for weeks and people laughed about it. Harry Redknapp has even come out and says, I would have taken it if they offered it me. Go and give it to Harry Redknapp now. If you have to get Ledley King in there, Jermaine Defoe, ex-players, Michael Dawson.
Robbie Keane,
Robbie Keane, players that know the club, love the club, and they're going to put an arm around these players.
Is it too late, though?
I don't think it is too late. I think you changed the whole atmosphere in that football club. This manager, he doesn't even acknowledge players when they come off after you drag them after 15 minutes. That dressing room will be toxic. There'll be players that are close to Kingsley. And the way he's been treated,
you could see that.
Embarrassed.
You could see that with the way his teammates rallied around him. And I thought the Jed Spence incident was really interesting as well. It's tough for whoever comes in
Look
now.
Look at Celtic and Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
No one ever thought Martin O'Neill would have thought. I know Martin O'Neill very well. He would have thought, what? They're going to give me the job? What? At 73's Martin? Like, Harry Redknapp will be ready to take that job, and he would keep them up.
So
there's no shame in it.
So if you're saying, Abby, if they're going to pivot towards Harry,
100%.
Alex, are you saying if they're going to pivot towards Robbie Keane?
I would say Robbie Keane is a more likely contender, and I think he'd jump at the chance as well. You know, he's proven himself
not just to end the season,
overseas leagues. No, but
he'll want a longer-term deal.
But they need
Robbie
to make
Keane.
a longer appointment. I mean, look at Nottingham Forest. That they've hired Vitor Pereira. Now, I think if they stay up, he will leave at the end of the season, and Marco Silva is likely to come in from Fulham.
Yeah.
But they've given him an 18-month contract because it gives him the control of the dressing room. If players know the manager is only passing through, it almost gives them permission to slack it off. They're not going to play for him.
And Jim, he's upsetting players as well in the sense of Simmons. He come on for on the 83rd minute last night. Players like him, egos, have they down tools? Not starting Solanke, Paulinho on the bench. Like he's making the wrong sort of changes to his team.
But should he really bother if he's upsetting anyone, Gabby? This is desperation time, isn't it?
No, it's not about him being bothered. I'm thinking, if I'm the owners at Spurs, if I'm Spurs fans, I'm thinking, please change something now before it's too late, because they won't get nothing at Liverpool on the weekend. They'll lose in against Atletico Madrid next week.
Right.
And in that Nottingham Forest game, you'd put all your money on Forest.
I just wonder, Jim, if he's putting his faith in the wrong players. You mentioned Xavi Simons there, and we do get a bit fixated by goals and assists, but obviously he's a young player still learning the league. But in terms of character, he seems like a good one. If you remember when they were given 5 days off, the players, in the wake of Thomas Frank's sacking, he was the one who didn't go away on holiday. He stayed back and did extra training. He's got his own strength and conditioning coach. He's got his own personal trainer.
Right.
He wants to be a success.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the type of character you want in your team.
So if they do pivot, would they be doing that more in hope and desperation than expectation? Want to hear from Tottenham Hotspur fans this morning, because it's almost got quite ridiculous, has it not? Where on earth do they go from here? Going forward, with or without Igor Tudor, is this situation, both in Europe, but obviously, more importantly, in the Premier League, is it still salvageable? Or is it gone? Are you as good as out of the Champions League and looking at Championship football next season? 03717 22 33 44. Shoot me a message if you like, 810 89 on this beautiful Wednesday morning here at Cheltenham.
It's not just an embarrassment for the old firm, it's an embarrassment for the whole of Scottish football. And Scottish football as a whole is getting tarnished with this. And I just think it's incredibly unfair on the normal, well-behaved football supporter that they're getting tarnished with this brush. And I was listening to David Tanner. It's not just that yesterday, this has been going on for a long, long time. And Rangers as a football club need to address their own house. They need to put a stop to this. I know the way of stopping it is by banning them. Get them gone for the stadium. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, it's with the mask on as well, isn't it? All the covering their faces up as well, Gregor.
How's that anything to do with football? I go to a football match. I like to wear my colours. These people are not football supporters. They're mindless thugs. They're mindless thugs.
Yeah.
Gregor, I've always said, look, I'm a Glasgow boy. I've always said that, the history and all that. There's nothing, for me, there's nothing wrong with being excited before the game, singing your songs for 90 minutes, and then going home and being normal again. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to run on pitches, throw a few punches, and that's just beyond a joke. It's a disgrace.
That's the way it used to happen. Many years, there was trouble. Of course there was. It's part of the terrorism, but not like this. And this, as I said, it's a minority of people that's causing.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, everybody. It's Jim White, Alex Crook, Gabby Agbonlahor. We're coming to you live from Cheltenham Racecourse, day 2 of the racing, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. Looking forward to that. Very shortly, we're going to be joined here in this brilliant BetMGM studio here, overlooking this famous racecourse. We're going to be joined by top jockey Harry Skelton. In the meantime, and we make no apologies for it, it is crisis time at Tottenham Hotspur. Of that, there is no doubt. Igor Tudor has taken over on a temporary basis, but many Spurs fans are telling us this morning, forget temporary, get him out now. Spurs last night in the Champions League in Madrid hammered 5-2 in the first leg of their tie against Atletico Madrid. Where do they go from here, with or without Igor Tudor? Is it still salvageable, both in Europe, but maybe more importantly, in the Premier League? And you're calling us in huge numbers this morning. 03717 223344. Gabby's alongside Alex. Let's get down to it. Gareth, big Spurs fan. Good morning, Gareth. What's your take on it? This is desperate now, isn't it?
It is desperate. Yeah, I think we're in just such a bad position now. I think something's got to give. And, you know, bringing someone in like Tudor in the first place from the Lewis family was a mistake. A taskmaster who's come in, just tried to, you know, hardline everything when you need someone. You look at the Carrick situation, and yeah, it's worked out for him. I think they've got a bit lucky, Man United, but they've got great results. But if you bring a bit of a club legend in, if it is Robbie Keane or Harry Redknapp, you get a better bounce throughout the players. You get more confidence in the players, and then you kick on from there. But bringing someone in like Tudor just goes to show the decisions we're making at Spurs. It's an absolute mess, to be honest.
Even if they bring somebody in, Gareth, do you trust this dressing room and these players to bounce appropriately?
You should do, but I think we're not getting the best out of, you know, leaders like Romero, Van der Ven. Van der Ven was lucky to stay on the pitch last night. You know, we're looking for big performances out of him in the league and in Europe. And he hasn't been great the last few games and for the last couple of months, if I'm honest. So if you're looking at senior players like Romero, like Van der Ven and Vicario, players like that to give you a lift, I don't think you're getting that out of Spurs. You know, you can bring in whoever
I think you're being
like,
very kind to call those players leaders. I'm not seeing much leadership from Christian Romero when he gets himself stupidly sent off at Old Trafford. I'm not seeing any leadership at all from Mickey Van der Ven. What makes them leaders?
No, we're not. But you're relying on senior players to do that for a team. You know, you can have players like Archie Gray are outshining players like that, you know, by being really young players, but putting in performances on the pitch. You know, he has had good performances.
Yeah.
You're relying on a World Cup winner like Romero to get you over the line, and he's getting sent off at Man United, which we were at. And
Gareth,
we were,
a blunt question. Should it be over for Tudor today?
Yes, yeah. In my opinion, I think you're running out of time. You know, if you've got 9 games left in the league and you need a bit of a kickstart to keep you in the Premier League, decisions have to be made. It's ridiculous that we're going into another caretaking situation, but yeah, it's got to give now.
Okay, thanks for your call, Tony. Another Tottenham fan. Good morning to you. Alex and Gabby are beside me. What do you want to say on this situation?
I just think you've got to look at the balls. You know, they blamed Levy, and Levy wasn't the problem. I think Levy was just the whipping boy. You know, I don't think there's no structure at the club. I don't think there's no formation at the club. And I do think you need somebody with a bit of character and personality, like Harry Redknapp. And people haven't even mentioned this guy, Tim Sherwood. You know, Tim Sherwood's got a lot of clout and talks a lot of sense and walked through Harry Kane and Dele Alli and people like that. You know,
I had him at Villa as well, and he come and kept us up. Very good manager.
I think Tim Sherwood is very, very underrated. Very, very underrated. But I think for now, give Harry Redknapp the job. But in long term, I think Tim Sherwood would be a fantastic replacement.
Okay, Tony, and of course we speak at a time that Igor Tudor is still in charge of the club. Paul, good morning. What do you want to tell us?
Morning, yeah. Watching them last night, I mean, Kinski, he should have been brought in 7 or 8 games ago. I mean, let's have it right. Vicario has been awful, absolutely awful. But other things I've seen that are wrong, there's a picture, I don't know if anyone see it on Facebook, when Tudor took over the team, he took them all out for a meal. And if you couldn't see by that picture what's wrong, I mean, it weren't rocket science to see what was wrong. They're not a team, right? I don't know if you know what I'm on about with the picture. It was like there was 2 sets of players, and it was.
I get a rough idea.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, the short and the tall of it is, Paul, your club's in crisis, right? Your club's in crisis, Paul, right?
Banging it, yeah.
Okay.
I was just looking, Jim, at the statement when Igor Tudor was announced as manager, and it starts by saying that Igor joins with a clear focus to improve performance, deliver results, and move us up the Premier League table. His mandate is straightforward: bring organisation, intensity, and competitive edge to the squad at decisive stage of the campaign. Has he done any of that? I think he just brought chaos, Igor Tudor.
It seems that it's got pretty chaotic, that is for sure, from the outside looking in. Peter, good morning. What do you want to say to us?
Morning, guys. Listen, I'm going to be a little bit different here. I don't think Igor Tudor has done much wrong, all right? Now, the way I look at this is, if Harry Redknapp had taken over before the Arsenal game, I don't know who else he could have played and in what different formation he could have played in. We haven't got the players available. Now, the only mistake that, to me, that Tudor has made... Hold on. Hear me out a minute. The only mistake that Tudor has made was in the Fulham game. He played Simmons on the left, Gallagher on the right. The team wasn't balanced. When I see that team come out against Palace and that team come out last night, I didn't see nothing wrong in that team. We've got no other players to play a different formation, unless you want to bring Simmons in the 9. But when we conceded that 3rd goal against Palace, Porro stood there and screamed at Vicario why he didn't come off the line when that ball was put through for Walton. Vicario, what that guy has just said before me, should have been out 7-8 weeks ago. Now, that might have been
14 goals conceded in 4 games.
No, listen, I appreciate that. I'm not saying that there's an answer to this. I totally agree there isn't an answer to this. I just don't see what any other manager, what system... You've played a back 5. What you just said there, we've conceded 14 goals. Hold on, listen, we've conceded 4 goals against Arsenal. Anybody can...
Players do play better for different managers.
I was going to say, this is not a tactical issue necessarily, is it, with Igor Tudor? I would say it's more of a man management issue.
Yeah, Peter's putting on the players, though, Gabby. You heard him. He's more players than Tudor.
Yeah, the players have got a lot to blame, 100%, because you should be going out there and putting in top performances, no matter who the manager is. But this is a different era of football players, Jim. They can't handle criticism. You know, they can't handle it. They can't handle the manager coming in with an old-school mentality.
But, Gabby, Thomas Frank couldn't get a tune out of these players. Tudor can't get a tune out of the players. The common denominator might be the players.
Oh, 100%. The dressing room is rotten. There's no question about that. However, they're on a mission now. They've got, 8 games to save themselves in the Premier League. Forget about Europe. The best thing that can happen is they get knocked out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
This manager is not going to keep Tottenham in the Premier League.
Are they playing Championship football next season?
Yes.
I think there's a strong possibility.
Jim, they just need a manager like Harry to come in and be their friend. Well done, guys. You're great players. Go and express yourselves. They need that sort of treatment. Is
it that simple?
That's what it's but it's not even that simple. That's what players are like now. They can't handle a manager being hard with them and telling them what they really feel.
Okay.
They need a character like that.
Here at Cheltenham Racecourse, top jockey, winning jockey, Harry Skelton is our friend, and he's going to be joining us after the break. It's 10:30 on a beautiful Wednesday morning here at Cheltenham, and we're live on talkSPORT.
When I saw the scenes, whether the scale of the scenes were back to the 80s or not, which is my argument that they clearly weren't, there was not a surprise in my mind that there was an issue when you've got the two sets of fans in a combustible environment and large amounts of the opposing side being in the away ground for the first time in significant years. I look at the rules and say, it's interesting about rules being quoted as the SFA enforcing a 20% rule around the stadium capacity, yet the rules in the SPFL require you to provide a certain amount of away fans for the SPFL games, and Rangers and Celtic seem to have ignored that for years. So I don't really understand why they couldn't have ignored it for this game and turned around and said, in the interests of what we think is common sense, right now we don't think it's appropriate to stick 7,500 fans in a football stadium from the opposition right now because we think it's going to lead to problems. Then you look beyond that and go, well, you could have ignored the rules if you wanted to, and that may be me being a little bit cheap on the observation, but notwithstanding it, it's still there. You then look at it and go, if you don't think this was surprising, you think it's disappointing. I bet if I ask Bill Leckie, put aside your disappointment and your unhappiness, are you inherently surprised? Well, probably not. So what was done to prevent it? What was done to ensure that prevention, whether prevention should have to be part and parcel of a bloody football match, is a different argument entirely. What we're dealing with now is another set of circumstances surrounding two football clubs that should be at the pinnacle of Scottish football for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. And you can't strip them out of the cup, because you strip them out of the cup, all of a sudden the commercial revenues of the cup come into play.
Exactly.
We've seen this situation. So what did you do, honestly, when you look down and distill it down to prevent this?
What is the World Cup's most controversial moment? Hurst's goal, which definitely was a goal? Zidane's headbutt? Ronaldo's hell scare in '98? Nah, it's obviously Maradona's hand of God. Mexico City, 1986. England are set to take on Argentina in the World Cup quarter-finals. Both sides have won their group, and both are well fancied to lift the trophy. This game means more. Just 4 years on from the end of the Falklands War, and the hatchet has very much not been buried. It's a physical match, with Diego Maradona taking the brunt of a strong-handed approach from England's defenders. Despite a few early chances from England, Argentina are well on top, but luckily for the Three Lions, Peter Shilton's having a good day between the sticks. At half-time, it's goalless. 6 minutes after the break, the ball was played to the edge of the area. Steve Hodge sliced his clearance, and it headed back towards his own goal. Up went Maradona's left hand, and he punched it into the net. He wheeled away in celebration, urging his teammates to join him, while the England team was furiously surrounding referee Ali bin Nasser of Tunisia. Even decades later, Peter Shilton hadn't forgiven Maradona. Argentina won 2-1 and went on to lift the World Cup trophy. I mean, without the hand of God, we might never have got the song Three Lions. But we'd have another World Cup.
Good morning, everybody. Just gone 10:30 this beautiful Wednesday morning. You're listening to White and Crook with Gabby Agbonlahor live from the Cheltenham Festival. All thanks to BetMGM. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. It really is a stunning setting here at Cheltenham. The sun is shining. People are gathering. It's going to be a bumper day. And we're coming to you live from Cheltenham Racecourse all day. Day 2 of the racing, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. It's Ladies' Days, folks, and we're looking forward to it. Mr. Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor alongside me. We're with you all the way through until 1 o'clock. And remember, Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel is going to be joining us live in studio as well as we go through some of the finer points of what's going on in the Champions League, what's going on in the Premier League, and of course in Europe this very week. It's a huge week in Europe. It's a huge week in the racing calendar. And I'm delighted to say Team Skelton had their first win of Cheltenham after Madara won yesterday's racing plate. Winning jockey Harry Skelton joins us here in the BetMGM box in our studio this morning ahead of today's action. Harry, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Morning, Harry.
We're doing very well. First winner of the festival. How did that feel?
Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, good book of rides for the meeting, but getting one up on the first day is getting one up in the first 15 minutes, getting your nose in front. So no, it's a big day, and nice to get one on the board.
Did you tip Madara?
I didn't tip it. I did have a little bet on it, so I was quite happy. And you were quite happy all the way around. It was never going to get beaten, was it?
Yeah, no, it's going really well the whole way around. The only bit of problem I had was a bit of traffic down the back straight, just going to the water, moved out, and once I sort of switched out then and got a good clear run, he came home strong, yeah.
Is there certain races that you look at a festival and you say they're the ones that I'm banking to win?
There's no, I suppose... Look, there's definitely ones that have of a stronger chances than others, and he was definitely one on the card yesterday that I thought would be bang there. But look, the horses all ran really well yesterday from my yard. They all ran their races, and coming into the festival, that's all you can hope for, as long as they just run their race. And look, it might not all go that smoothly over the next 3 days. You take the good with the bad, but yesterday was a good day and the horses ran well.
And Harry, you're in Sir Alex Ferguson's horse today, are you not? L'Eau de Sud.
Yeah, L'Eau de Sud. He looks to have a good chance, I think. Obviously, Madgeborough, red-hot favourite. Very different to Leopardstown, where Madgeborough was very good the last day. Big galloping open flat track on quite soft ground. Background here today on a bit better ground. He made a few mistakes in the jumping department last year. And hopefully it makes it a bit more difficult for Madgeborough. L'Eau de Sud's in good form. He's fresh coming into the race, which is very important for him. He hasn't ran for a good while, and that's how he likes to be.
Have you had a team talk with Sir Alex?
Not yet, no. He's a bit more probably laid back than when he was managing. But no, he's great to ride for. It's great to have him involved in the yard, and obviously he's very good friends, obviously with the Hales family and Jed Mason, who also own the horse. So hopefully yeah, wouldn't mind getting the second one on the board.
Good day for the British yesterday, 4-3 up
Brilliant.
after day one.
Yeah,
Can that continue for the week?
Yeah, I hope so. I think coming into the festival, races did look more open than in previous years. Bigger fields, bit of old school festival really. That's how it used to be and how it's how it is this year really. You got 22 in the first today. I can't remember the last time the 22 in a novice hurdle at Cheltenham. The Triumphs, full field, big field. It's great to see. I think it makes it more appetizing to all the race goers and the followers. It's you can get stuck in and not just constantly see odds-on shots winning all the time.
And looking ahead to Friday, you've got Grey Dawning in the big one. A lot of people are quite positive about the chances of that winning the Gold Cup.
Yeah, again, I think it's an open Gold Cup, but he ticks a lot of boxes. He's definitely got a chance. You can make a case for quite a lot of them on the card. He's a past festival winner. As long as the ground, which I don't think it will, I think we're going to get quite a bit of rain Thursday evening and into Friday. So as long as it's not holding and sticky, that's probably what he doesn't really like. But if it's wet and it's soft and they're getting through the ground, won't be a problem. He's in there with a chance.
I want to
Go on, Gabby.
I want to know what your preparation's like, because like us footballers have superstitions that they do, some strange ones. But what's yours? Do you have any superstitions, or what's your?
Not really. No. Probably the difference is I was up this morning in the yard at 6:30. Rode out this morning, schooled a horse that's probably going to run later on in the week. Drive to the track, not getting the bus with the team. So it's for a jockey, it's jump jockey probably especially. It's not all glamour. You have to get stuck in, and it's. But look, that's why we do it, and we love it. And no superstitions really. I'll walk the track there in a minute after I've been here with you guys, and then I'm just going to have a look and get stuck in basically.
Harry, man beside you played football at the very highest level, and he's bashful about it, but he did. And he was always in the zone in the big moments. This is a huge week for you guys, isn't it? You don't want to fail.
No, massive week for us. The biggest 4 days of our calendar. This can actually define your season this week. Like, I'm not being funny. You could probably have had 10 winners throughout the season. Have a winner at the festival, and everyone thinks you've had a fantastic season. Do you know what I mean? That's what it does. And like, there's no better feeling than walking back down that chute. And Cheltenham gives you that. Nowhere else can give you that. That's how.
Why is that, Harry? Why? What makes it that way?
I just think the atmosphere and the fact that you're so in the middle of the moment, in the middle of the people, and walking up through that chute, people both sides. There's like an amphitheatre walking back into the winners' enclosure, and as a sportsman, once you've crossed that line in front, we get 5 minutes to walk back, weigh in, weigh out for the next one. It's gone.
Yeah.
Next one, and you have to just try and suck that up and live that 5 minutes that you get, because once one thing's done, you're on to this. And I think sport, you're never satisfied really. You just, once you've had it once, you just want the next one, and then you want more, and then you want bigger. And
so what constitutes a good week for you? I mean, you would not be happy, Harry, if yesterday was the only winner that you've got.
Absolutely not. No, like I think we've got some great chances coming up, but it also is very difficult to get a winner on the board. We've got some good chances coming. I think as long as the horses all just run their race, and there's no hard luck stories, then I think you have to be satisfied. And
what's your best chance today? That's what everyone at home wants to know.
Yes. Some good chances today. Look, I do think Loda Sud could win. I think Majborough, if he's foot perfect, it's going to be very hard to beat. But different scenario for him. I'm not sure the track's all to what he loves. So I think Loda Sud could win. But I think Be Aware's definitely got a neat, good shot. And I like the filly in the bumper. She's only got 10-4. So I have a couple of pounds to lose between now and 5, whatever it is. She's only got 10-4. I don't think a 4-year-old filly's ever won the race, but she's a good filly. Yeah.
How competitive, Harry, is it amongst you jockeys?
Oh, yeah.
Jog it on. Or do you look at him and you think, I've got to beat him today?
Yeah.
Because there was an incident yesterday when you were all bumping each other coming out the rally.
Yeah.
Were there words had in the weighing room after that?
No, not really. Like, I think it was all just fair play yesterday. The horses were, inexperienced horses. But look, when the tape goes up, make no mistake. Like, you're out there for yourself, and with such competitive racing, there's no inch given, to no one. You want to beat each other, and at the end of the day, it's about winning.
I love that. I love it. At the end of the week, are you physically and mentally exhausted?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then we're on to Toxter on Saturday, probably Chepstow Sunday, and then.
Do you ever get a day off?
We do get a day off. But it is relentless. Being a jump jockey is relentless, and I think probably what as well is they are in the weighing room, like you are mates. At the end of it, we will have to look out for each other, because at the end of the day, one of us could be off on the way to hospital in an ambulance.
Yeah.
And that we're all caring, and we don't want that.
Of course.
So there is a fine line. And I think that's what brings the weighing room together, is that it is it's a big community in there, and we want the best for each other.
And you want everybody to come through, horses and jockeys included, unscathed, of course. You maybe didn't hear the top of the show, Harry, but Alex Crook has got himself a horse. I personally think he's a bit big to be a jockey. and the horse is quite nervous in the paddock, I'm told.
He'd won on Madara yesterday, probably.
I'm not sure I would.
Even you, Gabby, you might have given it a go.
No. I am hearing, Harry, that Alex's horse is refusing to race. Maybe that's no surprise to all of us. Harry, good luck today.
Yes.
Yeah,
fantastic. You've given us a great sense of what this thing is all about.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
This is the Champions League final. This is what it's about. This is where you want to be scoring.
He would know about that.
Actually, I used to come to the Villa and watch the Villa, and look, it's brilliant to have me on. Thanks very much.
We've loved having you on. Winning jockey Harry Skelton, who goes again today on Sir Alex Ferguson's horse, L'Eau de Sud. You heard Harry get a more than good chance of coming through that. We are live from Cheltenham on Ladies' Day, this beautiful Wednesday morning, live in talkSPORT.
So to me, the manager, when you look at him and the way that they're reacting to him as a manager, is everything that I need to know that this guy is absolutely out of his depth and he's got to get out of that football club.
Yeah.
Because if they stick with this guy, we are gone. This club is gone. Yeah. And then at the end of the season...
Who knows? But hold on a second.
At the end of the season...
So you change a manager and your fortune's going to change?
No, I'm not saying they're going to change, but it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse than this man.
We drew the second half today.
Jay, shut up!
Honestly, you lot. I don't know what you want.
Stop going on about the second half. You can't keep going on about it. Like, seriously, mate. Seriously, shut up. You can't keep talking about the second half. Oh, we drew the second half, mate. Honestly, I'm trying not to swear. Like, you can't keep saying that, mate. You can't keep saying that. You're a professional pundit. You can't keep saying that.
You did draw the second half.
Mate, I'm trying to be professional here. I'm not going to. I'm going to swear. I'm going to swear. Go to a break.
You've done it again, haven't you? You've done it again. You've walked. Jay? He's walked out again. I mean, factually, they drew the second half.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Heading towards 11 o'clock this Wednesday morning, and what a morning, a beautiful setting here. We're live from Cheltenham Racecourse, day 2 of the racing, of course, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase, but it is one of these settings on the race card. A fabulous morning, very mild out there, very sunny, a wonderful setting, and we're delighted to be here. We're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes. Alex Crook alongside me, so too is Gabby Agbonlahor, and of course it's another massive night in the Champions League. Arsenal up against Bayer Leverkusen. Is Real Madrid against Manchester City? Does it get any bigger than that? Real Madrid, Man City. And PSG up against Chelsea. Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel is making his way to this very studio very shortly, and he will be joining us from about 11:30 as we look ahead to Chelsea tonight in the Champions League. Last night, Alex, Newcastle went 1-up through Harvey Barnes, but with virtually the last kick of the game, Lamine Yamal converted a penalty after he was tripped inside the box. In context, Alex, is it a great result or is it a missed opportunity?
I think probably a bit of both, to be honest. I think avoiding defeat, having lost to the same opponents at home in the league phase, was first and foremost the main priority. But when you take the lead so late on, as Newcastle did, to have the chance to go back to the Camp Nou with a 1-0 advantage, I think would have given them a real opportunity to potentially go into the next round. As it is, I would make Barcelona favourites at home, I think. But this is not a great Barcelona team, in the sort of Pep Guardiola mould. So defensively, I think they're vulnerable, as Newcastle proved last night. So they're still in the tie. And I think when you look at their Premier League form, which has been patchy, they would have taken that. I'll tell you who really impressed me last night, and it comes into sharp focus with the World Cup not that far away now. Lewis Hall against Lamine Yamal. England have got a problem when it comes to who's going to start at left back at the World Cup. I think as every game goes by, Lewis Hall is really enhancing his chances.
What do you think, Gabby? Tuchel looking at him?
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to say, the same thing. That's what I wanted to see from last night, was Lewis Hall tested against one of the best wingers in the world. That's what we want to see. We know O'Reilly at Manchester City has done very good this season, moved into midfield now. But on his performance last night, Lewis Hall, he can show he can do it against the top wingers. I thought Newcastle bullied Barcelona. They really did. Joe Linton was big in midfield, Tonali as well. And it was a missed opportunity. They should be winning that game last night, Newcastle. There was shell-shocked Barcelona. Lewandowski looked his age last night, was very poor as well. But another goal for Harvey Barnes. That's 6 goals in the Champions League, so he's doing very well in cup competitions.
Can they bully them, Gabby, in the Nou Camp?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a total different game there. We know what Barcelona's record's like at the Nou Camp. But you never know, Jim. You really never know, because it's Newcastle season. You know, they're not going to finish in European places again. They're out of all the cups now. So it's either do or die, really, for Newcastle. If they lose against Barcelona, their season's done.
Well, we'd have preferred 1-0. It was 1-1. Post-match, let's nip in and have a listen to Eddie. Post-match, here he is.
It was a great advert for us as a football club, both on and off the pitch. Just devastated for everybody that we couldn't get the win that I think we all deserved. But that's That's football for you, and it never plays to sort of romance. It does what it does, and now we have to dust ourselves down, take the positives from the performance, and as I say, trying to hit that on a more consistent basis.
That was Eddie Howe. Gabby, Harvey Barnes said a polite thanks, but no thanks to Scotland, and I'll never forgive him for that. But what about Thomas Tuchel? What about England? Is he a late contender?
It all depends, because he hasn't been in a squad under Thomas Tuchel. Gordon, Rashford look like the wingers that will be picked, but Rashford's not getting the game time at Barcelona. I follow La Liga, and it's Rafinha off that left-hand side, it's Jamal off the right, and he's a bit part player now, Rashford. But will that matter to Thomas Tuchel because he knows what Rashford and Gordon can do for the national side? Or maybe he's had a call, Jim. Maybe he spoke to Thomas Tuchel. That's why he's turned down Scotland. Maybe he knows he's going to get called up. Maybe there's a surprise waiting.
Hey, that could well be the case, Alex.
I think it's unlikely. I think there are other players ahead of him in the pecking order, but he's doing all he can, as you say. You've mentioned his recent form, particularly in cup competitions. Rashford is a really interesting case in point, because I think Thomas Tuchel has a soft spot for Marcus Rashford.
Yes.
I think he feels he brings something different to the team, and I think he'll probably be on the plane, even though, as you say, he's not exactly pulling up any trees week in, week out at Barca.
Has he progressed enough?
I think the problem at Barcelona was when he first went there, Rafinha was out injured, wasn't he? So we got a lot of game time, but Rafinha is one of the captains of the team, always going to start on that left-hand side. Maybe a little bit of rotation, Rashford will get a start. Lewandowski and Torres as strikers as well. Maybe too much competition there for Marcus Rashford. Maybe in the summer, doesn't make permanent by Barcelona. He goes somewhere and becomes the number one left winger. Very tough to break into that squad, isn't it?
I'm just picking up on something that Gabby said there, and I'm wondering if there might well be a bit of truth in it, that Harvey Barnes might have been given some information and then decided to say no to Scotland with England now in mind. You never know, Alex.
Yeah, or maybe he just didn't fancy a group stage exit of the World Cup.
Now,
oh no, he's got you back, Jim.
I'll take that. I've come all the way to Cheltenham, and I've avoided Simon Jordan this morning to say something like that, but I get it from this dodgy horse owner beside me.
5% owner.
Hey ho, maybe. I'm just thinking of Haiti in that game and what Harvey Barnes might have done to them.
0-0.
We will never know. we will never know. Here's one before we hit the 11 o'clock break. What chance do you give Newcastle of going through and turning
I'll
this
definitely
round?
give them a chance. Like
You
Crookie
do?
says, Barcelona aren't the Barcelona we've been used to in recent years. Defensively, very poor. If Newcastle can take their chances and play Gordon, not Voltemada, Gordon, Elanga, Barnes, Willock, Ramsey, play your quick players in behind, they've got every chance. But it will be difficult at the new camp, as always.
Absolutely. I'd love to think that, Alex. I'd love to think that they could do it.
It'll be a statement victory for Eddie Howe, because I still find some of the sort of snobbery when it comes to Eddie Howe and the job that he's done at Newcastle a little bit baffling. So if he could go to the Camp Nou and beat Barcelona, maybe he'd get the respect he deserves. Is he your mate
as well, Eddie?
I think he's a terrific manager.
But is he your mate?
I've known him for a long time.
Oh, okay, that's wondering.
Why snobbery? Why did you choose that word?
Because I think there's still a lot of people who sort of try and play down what Eddie Howe has achieved at Newcastle, because obviously they've got all the Saudi money. Yes, they have, but we know, as Gab knows about his beloved Aston Villa, because of financial restrictions, they've not been able to spend all of that Saudi money. And he's won a cup, he's took them to the Champions League twice. He should be England manager for me.
Jim, you have to notice when you do this show, don't you, that certain people, they favour people that they know. You know, you have to find out. Sam Matterface is the worst player, isn't he, Cookie?
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. Sam Matterface, who doesn't have a friend in the world, as far as I've heard. That is not true. You've offended me, Sam, if you're watching and listening this morning. What about Liverpool? They go to Istanbul and they lose in the first leg by 1-0 to Galatasaray. Arne Slot's 100th game as manager. Can they turn that around? You would have to think so. We'll talk about them the other side of 11 o'clock, and around 11:30, Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel will join us right here in studio at Cheltenham. And of course, Chelsea go in tonight in Paris against Paris Saint-Germain. We're live from Cheltenham on this beautiful Wednesday morning.
Well, we're not going to ridicule and we're not going to persecute, so hopefully it won't be disgusting, Mr. Andrews. But what we will do is talk about the point of a Panenka. I do think it's very self-indulgent. The ultimately, right, the point of a penalty, the goal of a penalty, excuse the pun, is to put it into the back of the net, right? If you choose to do it in a flashy way, I do think that's a little bit self-indulgent, right? All the other penalties were fantastic. They're all out of reach from the keeper.
Yep.
They dived the right way. They're still not getting there. They were just brilliant. Do it that way. Like, what's the reason you're doing a Panenka? Like, ultimately, what's the reason you're doing it? And it is, A, to mug the goalkeeper off, and B, to look a little bit flash.
Yeah, listen, I was one. Look, I took many penalties in my career. I never did that because I just the risk doesn't outweigh the reward.
No,
because if I take a proper penalty and he saves it, okay, fair. I can listen and go, listen, I've tried to score it.
Yeah.
But when you Panenka it and you do that, I don't think it's worth doing because ultimately the result is still the same. You score a goal. So,
That's right.
So why would you want to make a penalty more difficult for yourself? Like penalties are not easy as they are, but it's an opportunity. I know it was in a penalty shootout, but we've seen players do it in games. We've seen players do it in World Cup finals, man. Zidane.
Off the bar.
Off the bar, right? I just don't think it's worth the risk because I think you score a penalty, good, professional. But when you start doing Panenkas, you're making a situation. You've already got a goalkeeper there, right? It's already a penalty shootout, so there's already pressure.
When Sir Jim Ratcliffe took control of footballing operations at United, the Manchester-born billionaire was somewhat welcomed in as a homegrown hero, ready to save the club from the dark days of the Glazers. But in just 12 months, he became a punch bag for many fans. So what happened? Let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. The important context here is that over the last 3 years, the club has lost over 300 million quid. And from day dot, Ratcliffe committed to fixing this, which of course is the right thing for the club. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way Sir Jim Ratcliffe, accompanied by Sir Dave Brailsford, went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands their lunch options at the Carrington canteen have been reduced to just soup and sandwiches, which the higher-ups at the club say will save them £1 million a year. Now that might make sense for many who don't get free meals at work themselves, but it gets a little bit more picky than that. It was reported that after staff brought some stationery, they were ordered to send sellotape back because it wasn't considered essential. The reward for being Steward of the Week used to be 50 quid, but that was scrapped and replaced by a paper certificate. And such is the grip Ratcliffe has on spending, he reportedly scrapped company credit cards, meaning some staff racking up hundreds of pounds worth of expenses and spending weeks out of pocket waiting to be reimbursed. But it's not just the stingy decisions around the amount of tea bags in the cafeteria. In 2024 alone, Ratcliffe oversaw 250 redundancies and more were announced at the beginning of 2025. Now, while there are people who acknowledge that United staff numbers are overinflated, it's the optics which aren't great. Because while all this has been going on, Casemiro's getting paid 350 grand a week, and the club forked out 14 million quid getting rid of Eric Ten Hag and Dan Ashworth. But United fans' rage doesn't just stop here at the cuts. Ratcliffe's unpopular decision to introduce a flat ticket price of 66 quid for every fan, even children, certainly did not go down well. For fans, it feels like the very foundation of the club's support is being attacked for the sake of making marginal financial gains. But Ratcliffe has backed it, saying if you shy away from difficult decisions, then nothing is going to change. And time will tell whether these measures will improve operations at the club and help drag standards up on the pitch. But one thing's for sure, his first year wasn't exactly a charm offensive, and there's still a long way to go for United to be back to where many say they belong.
Good morning, everybody. 5 minutes past 11 o'clock on a glorious Wednesday morning. It's Jim White, it's Alex Crook, and it's Gabby Agbonlahor, and we are live on talkSPORT, coming to you live from this quite phenomenal setting here at Cheltenham Racecourse, day 2 of the racing, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champions Chase. It is Ladies' Day, and what a day of racing lies ahead. A fantastic setting, as I say, very mild, very sunny, very enjoyable. It's going to be a special day. As I said, Alex with me, so too Gabby Agbonlahor, but no Simon Jordan this morning. And I, for one, am delighted about that, not missing him one bit, although it doesn't stop him texting me. I'm just about to have a massage, and I was just thinking how I'd love to be standing right beside you at a racecourse in the middle of nowhere. You, Crook and Agbonlahor, all of you losers. Simon, thank you very much indeed for that. But it is true, we don't miss him. This is a special setting, Alex. You love this place, right?
He's missing out. He doesn't know what he's missing out on. I can't wait for the racing to start today. Just seen the punters have started piling in. No doubt another record crowd for a Wednesday. What's not to love?
Yeah, this time last year, Gabby, we were here. It was snowing out there.
I know. It's better weather today, isn't it? As long as there's no rain.
Yeah.
People don't mind the cold.
Yeah.
It's when it rains, it ruins it.
Beautiful day, and it could be a special day of racing ahead. I am delighted to say we're joined by the great and the good throughout the morning from the world of horse racing. BetMGM Racing Ambassador Meg Nichols joins us on the show. Cheltenham week. You're looking wonderful, Meg. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to obviously be here, and as you say, beautiful weather. But I sort of thought, Ladies' Day, I'm going to have to make a bit of an effort. So yeah, we have dressed up and ready to go for a big afternoon of racing.
Why does this meeting, why does this week have such an allure? Why do people love it so much, Meg? You love it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've grown up with it, but there's a real special energy about Cheltenham. The atmosphere is incredible. Day 1 was absolutely packed. I'm hoping we've got the same for day 2 as well. But yesterday just had a really great feel about it. There was really competitive racing. The crowd were unbelievable. You know, when Lossiemouth won the champion hurdle, everyone was down to cheer her in. And it's just it's the stadium of dreams, really. I mean, there's nowhere else like it. I've been fortunate enough to go to big rugby games, big football games, but I've never enjoyed an atmosphere like I have Cheltenham Festival.
And how are you feeling today? How are the family feeling? Bearing in mind you've got a hot favourite, no drama this end in the first race. Is it a race your dad's not won, the Turners?
Quite possibly not. Now you've said that. Yeah, I don't think he has, because we've had chances in it and we've had lots of places in it, but no drama this end. Obviously, had a phenomenal year. He's proven himself on lots of different grounds. People are saying trying might not help him, but champions have to cope with all conditions, and that's what we hope he is. Obviously, there's nerves about the camp. I think everyone's pretty pleased it's the first race, so you can't eat before you're nervous, can you? So they'll be starving if it was the last. So luckily, hopefully, it'll be a winning start to the day, and then it might be full of Guinness after that.
It is so competitive, though, Meg, isn't it? We had Harry Skelton, the top jockey, with us moments ago. The jockeys are super competitive. The trainers are, the owners are. Everybody, it's all about winning, isn't it?
Of course. Yeah, you can come here and have a good day and finish 4th and be pleased, but you're only lying to yourself. You only want one position, and that's first. So it's really competitive, and ultimately it's the best of the best here. It's our Olympics, effectively. There's no hiding places out there. One small error can be the end of your chances, and I think that's what makes it so good. And today we've got incredibly big fields. It makes it extremely hard for anyone trying to tip or back winners, but it is a great day for the punters, because there is so many runners, and in those big fields, therefore, there is lots of places on offer.
And Alex touched on it. You come from a horse racing family. You were never not going to go into this industry, were you?
I know, I'd have struggled not to, I think, wouldn't I? But I had a great time, riding first of all, and then switching into the media side of things. And I get to be right in the thick of all the best action, so I'm spoilt, really.
Sorry, go on,
Gabs. Go on.
I wanted to ask you about your dad, one of the most successful trainers. What separates a good trainer and the best trainers?
I suppose, yeah, I suppose it's a massive team thing. You've got to have a good team behind you, because ultimately when you're training the top levels, probably 100 more horses, you've got to have a massive team behind you. But they do the best job with prepping the horses from a very young age. It starts from the very beginning. buying them as well, but also then picking the best races. And there's a lot to it, and a lot of the best trainers, it's rather than technology, which is obviously coming in more and more, it's all about the eye and the feel, and that, I believe that is what makes the best trainer. It's their natural judgment. So I think a top horseman, they have it. You can obviously improve, but you're either gifted with it or you're not.
And there's a different feel to the festival this year, arguably as competitive as it's ever been, because in recent years it's been an Irish smash-up. Willie Mullins has dominated. Doesn't feel that way. Certainly wasn't that way yesterday. What have the British trainers done to sort of close that gap over the last 12 months?
We finished yesterday 4-3 to the Brits, which is absolutely brilliant. Normally we get annihilated on day one.
Exactly.
So thank God. Well, I suppose the Brits have had a stronger hand in the novices this year, so the younger horses coming through, trying to find more clients and better purchase plans to get the better horses from the very start. That certainly has proven a positive this year. I don't think you change anything. You just need to keep improving your squad. And it's great that it's so level. You know, I think for the sport, I think it's important that it's not just dominated by one team. It gets a bit boring. So to have such open and competitive racing throughout, if we can just about take the Presbyterian Cup home and keep it in Britain this year, that would be pretty phenomenal. But we've got good chances once again today, and hopefully we can continue to bang in those races.
Meg, you mentioned you were out there as a jockey on the track, of course, and now BetMGM Racing Ambassador. Does a big part of you wish you were still out there?
No, I think I'm fortunate enough that I get to train the horses in the morning, and that if I didn't get to do that, I would obviously miss it more. But you know, the jockeys out here are totally bonkers, very talented, but they're mad.
You know, in what way?
Well, ultimately, they're going down to hurdles and fences at sort of 35 to 40 miles an hour, hell for leather, and you know, accidents can happen. They're very talented, but they are totally mad. You know, it's one of those things that I had a great time when I was riding. I had great experiences and rode at some amazing tracks, but I very much enjoy training the horses in the morning and being on the safe side of things in the afternoons.
You never think of it, just how brave these jockeys have got to be.
Oh, I do.
As Meg has just, Meg has just described it. I mean, in all honesty, you have to be stupid as well to even take it on, don't you?
I'm glad you didn't tell Harry Skelton that earlier.
I wasn't going to mention that to Harry, but it takes a certain mindset, Meg, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that when you've grown up into the sport, you don't think about it. And, you know, before there's nerves, there's anticipation in the weighing room. But once any jockey is legged up onto their horse, it's all gone. It's just you and the horse. And I don't know what it is, no matter how big the occasion, there's something about once you're on board, it's amazing how you could just block everything out. And I don't think you even, you know, you wouldn't be doing it, you wouldn't be riding if you were considering the potential danger issues.
Sure,
or
the
hazards
hazards of it.
say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think that it just sort of becomes natural. You think it's totally normal, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone comes back safe. But the jockeys, I think it's fair to say, are bonkers.
Do you want to give us some tips, Meg, as you see it today, how this how this day might unfold? Because so many people are arriving at the racecourse, listening live in talkSPORT. What can you tell them?
I'd say don't write down what I'm about to tell you. First tip. I'm not just saying this, but I actually thought that today was the hardest in terms of the betting. We've got quite a few big handicaps. I thought it was very, very competitive. You mentioned no drama this end. I'm everything crossed possible that he can win the first race. But we've got the third race, the BetMGM Cup, which is a massive field. We've got sort of 22 runners or something along those lines. I thought that was, you know, great betting in terms of how many places are on offer, but it's tricky. I've gone a couple of selections here. Iberico Lord, Nicky Henderson with a couple of winners yesterday. I thought that he won at Kempton well last time. He did get a rise in the handicap, but he does exceptionally well in big fields. So he's won. You've spoken to Harry Skelton. I'm not sure if he mentioned Katira, who's quite well fancied mare in that race as well. She was quite well backed from about 40 to 1 into somewhere around 10s or something like that. So she has been quite well fancied. And a massive each way price. I back him every year. Is Bally Adam. He's an old boy now, he's 11, but he's ran in this race so many times. He ran at the festival so many times, and he's never been out the places. He's probably 25, if not bigger. And I just can't help but having a little £2.50 each way. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But Ballyadam's just a horse that I love because he's so consistent and he does exceptionally well at the festival. So that's race 3. And then obviously feature race, flick through race card, is the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase.
Right, yeah, what have you got?
Well, it's really boring, isn't it, having such a short price favourite in Marshborough, who ultimately, on what we saw last time, should be winning. But odds-on favourites, or favourites generally in this race, have a pretty awful record. And because of his jumping issues, he therefore could be easy to take on. If you do want to take him on, I'd go Ludesud for the Skeltons. I think they're going to have a really good day today.
Sir Alex's horse, right?
Sir Alex's horse, absolutely. He won here at the start of the season. The form from that race worked out really well. He ran a little bit disappointingly at Sandown last time, but I think, 1, that's not his best track, and 2, maybe that came a bit too quickly for him, and he was possibly a bit below his best. So fresh today. If you're going to take on Marshborough, I'd go Ludesud.
Meg, fantastic. Could you give us all of those again, please? I'm joking. That was fantastic.
Forget them all. That is the best tip, I think. Forget them all.
Magnificent. BetMGM Racing Ambassador Meg Nichols with us live on the show. Meg, thanks very much indeed.
No worries. Thank you. Good luck.
Ladies' Day. Thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to White and Crook with Gabby Agbonlahor live from the Cheltenham Festival. We'll talk Liverpool in the Champions League, of course we will. And we'll talk Chelsea with John Obi Mikel, who's on his way and is going to be with us in about 15 minutes from now. And we're here all thanks to BetMGM. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Well, he was Wales manager in January 2018. He led them to qualification for Euro 2020.
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, he has one hell of a lot of football know-how.
Sure. Yeah, certainly as a player, and given the fact that he's done okay with Wales, you know, if we're talking about another international job, he's burnt his bridges with the Welsh FA. I suspect that's circumstance, whether right or wrong. That ship has probably sailed, and Craig Bellamy's doing a decent job, however long Craig stays there for, and maybe Pasha Janu awaits him. I mean, I met Ryan Giggs years ago, didn't particularly warm to him, but that's not a benchmark for necessarily determining whether he should be a football manager or not. Clearly, he had a glittering career as a player. Clearly, he's put himself in the way of adverse publicity, one way or t'other. You know, and that comes at a price. And the price now of modern day football is that managing an elite football club, you have to present as being the perfect human being in all aspects. If you've got any skeletons in your cupboard, allegation or proven, there's a challenge for you, because the optics of how football clubs want to present themselves around the world will be challenged by someone that has had their reputation besmirched, some of it legitimately, these two instances not legitimately, in terms of the fact that the cases have never proceeded and he's never been found guilty of anything.
That's right.
The question for Ryan is...
So should he be unemployable in perpetuity?
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know how many jobs he's applied for. I don't know whether he's unemployable in perpetuity. I don't know what level he thinks he can manage at. I don't know, you know, there would be nothing stopping him from redeeming his, or finding himself. It's an interesting choice of redemption for marketing that he's alighted himself upon a campaign celebrating women. He would say, well, why wouldn't I? I've been found guilty of nothing. I've done nothing wrong. These were spurious allegations. Other people would say an interesting choice.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Here at Cheltenham on Ladies' Day, it's time to catch up on the odds thanks to BetMGM. And of course, because it's Cheltenham, because it's a big occasion, it's a big boss here at BetMGM. And Dan Taus joins us live in the show. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning,
This is
Morning,
Gabby
Crook.
Agbonlahor, Alex Crook alongside you. What about the Champions League from last night? What have you got for us, Dan?
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Mixed bag of results. Obviously, I was travelling up to Cheltenham yesterday, so I didn't see the Liverpool game. Obviously, they lost in Turkey. Second time that's happened this season. Speaking to Liverpool fans in and around here today, they were really disappointed with the performance. Like I said, I didn't see it, but going back to Anfield, 1-0 down, I don't think it's a major issue. They're still 1-3 to qualify.
Yeah.
Then we found a bar in Cheltenham and watched the drama unfold, shall we say. 8 goals scored in the first 30 minutes, those Champions League ties for the 8 o'clock kickoffs. Newcastle, as we know, so close to taking a win to the new camp next week. They're 11-5 to qualify now. Barcelona around 1-3, and it's going to be difficult for them, isn't it, going to the new camp next week to try and do that. But as made up as the majority of the show is Spurs in Spain, and it's always going to be a tough ask. They were 5-1 to win the game before the ball was kicked. They were 25-1 to win the Champions League. Have a guess what price they had to win the Champions League now?
There should be 25 million to win.
Not quite that. They're 250 to 1 now. Atletico Madrid are 100 to 1 on to qualify, and it's going to take some turnaround next week for them to get through to the next stage.
Gabby, on Liverpool, do you feel that Liverpool fans should be rightly confident this morning they're going to have enough to deal with Galatasaray at Anfield?
I think they will have enough. I think Galatasaray's fans aren't allowed to go to the game, are they? So that will be...
that's right.
That'll be good for Liverpool. But watch them last night, really, really poor. And it's really hard to have a go at Mo Salah, but to see the drop-off from last season, last night again, dragged after 60 minutes for Frimpong, he's not the same player. He really isn't. And his goals this season have shown that. Only 2 Champions League goals and 5 Premier League goals. He's been poor. And Liverpool have got problems defensively. Every cross that come in the box, they could have scored from last night, Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Very poor performance from Liverpool all round.
It was a big game for Arne Slot. It was his 100th game as manager of Liverpool. This was how he looked back on the 90 minutes.
What I do know is now it's half-time. We've lost here twice with 1-0. And the good thing is the next game is not played here, but it's played at Anfield. And our fans can create a similar atmosphere. And I don't think it's possible that if I look at the last 2 games that so many things can go against us as happened in the last 2 games. Although sometimes I question that if I look at this season. But I think things will be more normal in a home game for us. And I also think we can improve our performance. And that, with the help of our fans, has to lead to a big game in a week.
Dan, does the betting trend, if you like, demonstrate that people think Liverpool are going to go through?
Yeah, I think it does. I think they're odds on to qualify next week, and I can see them getting through. I know, like you said, Gabby, it was poor last night. I know you mentioned Mo Salah, but I think they've got enough. And Anfield European nights is worth a 1-0 goal start, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. What are you looking at tonight then?
Yeah, so just 3 games going to look at tonight. So Arsenal will head to Leverkusen. Leverkusen progressed in 4 of their 5 major European knockout ties versus English clubs. So they've got a good record, but Arsenal are odds on to go there and win tonight. PSG Chelsea replay of the World Club Cup final, which seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? Chelsea won that 3-0. PSG progressed from their last 3 ties against English sides. They're about even money. Chelsea around the 2-1 mark. But for me, the tie that I'm going to be trying to watch tonight is Real Madrid Man City. 5th consecutive time the sides have met in knockout stages. Man City have been knocked out by Real Madrid in the last 2 editions of the Champions League. But they're in different form. But Real Madrid are 5-2 at home.
I fancy City to beat them.
Do you?
I fancy Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal to all win tonight.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you not think
City to win, both teams to score?
But do you not think Real Madrid at 5-2 is a big price at home?
No Mbappe.
Yeah. They're not performing as
not
as
in
you
great
expect.
form. They lost at home to Getafe, I think.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
I'd like to know the last time Real Madrid were 5-2 at home on a European tie.
But I would back Manchester City
5-2 for a reason, mate.
Wow. Where's your view for the Champions League then this year? Where's your money going?
Well, Jim said earlier, didn't you, Jim, off Bayern Munich you're looking at? What are they favourites?
Yeah, we were talking about them last night.
Yeah.
I fancy them to go certainly to the final.
They're second favourites, 7-2. Arsenal are still favourites at 5.
That's the final, isn't it? Bayern Munich against Arsenal.
I think it probably is. Yeah, I think it probably is. Yeah. Barcelona at 11-2?
No. Defensively poor.
They weren't great last night, were they?
Got buddy last night, and I'm not having them defensively. Goalkeeper looks shaky. I wouldn't put a penny on Barcelona to win the Champions League.
Okay, we're going to be talking about PSG Chelsea very shortly. John Obi Mikel has just walked into the studio with some of his pals, and he's going to be joining us on set very shortly. You want to know how Dan got on yesterday, do you know, Alex?
Oh, we've had a chat. It didn't do quite as well as me, I don't think, yesterday. Did you, day one?
No, I didn't do quite as well as you. I had a couple of winners, a couple of each ways, but it's a long week, Crookie. You can't go too quickly. So I've got 4 days, 3 left. So big day today.
Who are you fancying today?
BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. Baldra, I think, could end up around about even money, which I think could be a big price. And it's jumping is the game, isn't it? And as we saw in the article yesterday, if you don't jump all the way around, you can lose coming up the final furlong. So I think Baldra in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. And actually, I backed Harry Skelton's, which he mentioned on the show earlier in the bumper in the last. Has got a lot of weight. Yeah. Bumper's always a difficult race. But
I fancy Willie Mullins in that. Got a great record. Got the favourite, isn't he?
I think most of the country would as well, given his.
And for those watching on YouTube, you'll have noticed that Dan Towse is dressing immaculately this morning. Is
that your best jumper?
Dressing as well as he can. And this is because you have a very important meeting coming up on a personal basis today.
So myself and Andy, who's somewhere else in the box, we're presenting the Queen Mother Champion Chase trophy presentation with Her Majesty the Queen.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm not sure she knows she's presenting with me yet, but she'll find out soon enough about 4:15. But it'd be. I've never done that before, Jim, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Good Dan, luck, we wish you well on that. I've just had a text from the Queen's personal secretary. Tell Dan maybe next time. But anyway, Dan, I'm sure it will happen, and well done to you. Good luck to you. That was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. It's 11:30.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Oh, God, we've got to do this all again. Yeah, Welcome to the Sports Bar. I'm Jamie Harris, him over there.
Has anyone seen Spurs? Tudor is the poo. Can you me poo? You're supposed to win. Hell of a beating. Igor Tudor. Igor Tudor again. The new manager Trouts. Can you me new manager Trouts? You're supposed to win. Hell of a beating. Chicken. Chicken. Can you me chicken? You're supposed to win. Hell of a beating. Encouraging signs. Your favour. Encouraging signs. The only encouraging signs they turned up. Can you me signs? You're supposed to win. Hell of a beating. Slipski and goal. What's going on? Slipski. Everyone was wearing roller skates. Mickey can't defend. No goal, Mawadi. Can you me Mawadi? You're supposed to win. Hell of a beating. Beyonce. Europa League champions. Europa League champions. The big cockerel. Can you hear me, cockerel? You're going to win a hell of a beat in the Gregson Tottenham Road. The SI signing, what happened to that? What happened to that? The Morgan White signing, what happened to that? Big Ange, can you hear me, Tottenham? You're going to win hell of a beating again.
Deary me, what is going on? What is going on? Spurs, they've done it again. Shambles, get rid of this guy. He's got to go now! Sack him! Sack him! Sack him! Sack him!
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
We're live from Cheltenham Racecourse, day 2 of the racing here, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. It's Ladies' Day. Alex Crook, Gabby Agbonlahor alongside me here in studio. A fantastic setting. The sun is shining and we eagerly look forward to the racing throughout the rest of the day. You will not miss a trick live on talkSPORT. When I heard that this next gentleman was going to be joining us today, I thought, great. The bid was made, John Obi Mikel. I wonder if he'd come and join us over at Cheltenham. And then we heard, oh yeah, John's a big racing fan. He's right into his racing. And this morning I hear that this is John Obi Mikel's first ever race meeting.
First ever, yeah.
John,
I have no clue what I'm doing here. But yeah.
You've started at the top. Good morning to you.
Good morning, John. Thank you. Good to be here. How are you? Good?
Great. John Obi Mikel, where do we start? A serial winner 11-year period at Chelsea, working under 11 different managers. You know, it's not a bad roll call of honours at the football club for you either. I mean, 2 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a Community Shield, Europa League, Champions League. John, I mean, could you ever have imagined it would work out as well as it did for you at that football club?
I was only lucky. No, it was a fantastic time for me, 11 years at the football club. I think when you talk about being at the football club for a very long time and the people you share that dressing room as well with, you know, all serial winners, all want to win. And of course, all started with Jose Mourinho, a manager that loves to win. Winning is what matters, and he straight away installed that winning mentality in every player in the football club, and that we just carried that on, and every time we play was just to win.
When you played Villa, you used to man mark Gabby.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how annoying he was, Jim, Alex? Do you know how annoying he was to play against? You'd think you were through in goal, and these legs just come and take the ball, take his time, and then find a pass, and then relax every time, like a top, underrated for sure midfielder. Very, very good player.
That's what you do when you play in front of John Terry. John Terry's always there, you know. It's like John Boy, you have to see in front there. Just trying to break up plays and make sure the ball doesn't get to, you know, good strikers like this. Because if you give them opportunities, they'll score.
Yeah, I mean, was it the 2010 FA Cup semi-final? You guys beat Villa 3-0, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did. I mean, playing in, we always liked playing in Wembley. For us, Wembley was like our second home. Every time we played there, we always won, which was good. So playing in the FA Cup final, League Cup finals, every time we went back to Wembley, it was always good for us.
They were so strong.
Yeah, very strong.
His Chelsea side, wow. People try and compare players, compare eras, and yourself, like Lampard, Terry. Remember JT, like left foot, right foot diag?
Yeah. He can ping it from every corner.
Anywhere, like the right backs you had there as well, Ferreira, Bosingo, Ivanovic. Like, actually, there's so many top players. Drogba, yourself as well in that midfield. Essien.
Yeah, Essien as well.
Manuda. That was a proper Chelsea. That's when Chelsea were the team that you're like, oh, we're going to Stamford Bridge. You know? Big problems.
It was the size, isn't it? The size as well. It doesn't matter how you want to play. You know, if you want to play pretty football, we're good at it. You know what I mean? If you want to come and play dirty, we're also good at it. So we had everything. The physicality, the way we want to win. Winning for us was very, very important. And we knew that's the only way we can make history at the football club, by winning. And that's what the owner wanted as well. A team that can win, a team that can win trophies year in, year out. And that's what we did.
It's a very different Chelsea now, John, and we'll get to that further down the line. Can you believe what's going on at Tottenham Hotspur?
Oh, it's a shambles, isn't it, what's going on there? I mean, I don't know where to start from. I think, obviously, when you look at the players, you look at the whole club as a whole. I think I always say that, for me, the problem of the football club always starts from the owner. If the top of the football club is not run properly, you know, it's going to rub off the team, the players. And that's exactly what I see with Spurs. Right now, you don't know who's the sporting director. You don't know who's who. You know, and that's what we see at the football club. Well, that's what we see in the team. When you watch them play, all over the place, players are not. There's no desire to run. There's no desire to do the basic, which is just run. And then when you see what happened yesterday as well with the manager, you know, taking off the goalkeeper, you know, after 20, 30 minutes, and not just going to the goalkeeper when he was coming off to at least put your arm around him and say, you know what, listen, it does happen. You're a young goalkeeper. You know, I'm with you. I'm going to stick with you.
Yeah, but John, the ownership doesn't make the players run. They should be doing it anyway, should they not?
Exactly.
It's nothing to do with the ownership. It's the players, isn't it?
The players have to, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to do with the ownership. But again, the whole thing, it's an organization, isn't it? It's from the top. If the top is chaotic, it's going to rub off the team. And that's what I see. It's just chaotic. The manager, I don't think, is good enough to be a Tottenham manager. And he's coming everywhere he's been. Yeah, he steadies the ship. But there's so much more to what's happening in the Spurs. It's not what we see on the pitch. It's deeper than that. Every manager that's been there, serial winners, Conte, Mourinho, they've all come out and they've said the same thing. So sometimes you have to look at it and say, it's not just what is happening on the pitch. We have to sort out what's happening.
But it was never this bad, was it, under Conte and Mourinho? I mean, there's a genuine chance that stadium, magnificent as it is hosting championship football next season.
Yeah, that's
seriously.
That's
do you think they can survive?
That's going to be disaster. I mean, you can never say never. You know, we talk about it saying, "Oh, Spurs are not going to go down." You can never say never. This is the Premier League, and right now they're in it. they're in it. We can say, okay, it's a big club, it's Spurs, massive stadium. But right now, they're in that relegation battle, and they have to quickly find a way of start winning games. If they don't do that, they find themselves being relegated.
We know Chelsea and Spurs don't really get on.
No, we hate Spurs.
John Terry told me that a lot of times. Guess who Spurs play second last game of the season? Chelsea.
Yeah. We're gonna have to make
how
sure
would you
we get them
approach that
down.
game if you're a Chelsea player now? Reece James, a leader, knows what it's about. How do they approach that game? They'll need to win themselves probably to get top 5 Champions League,
exactly.
and they know they can probably send Spurs down.
Oh, you can never write it back, can you? I mean, for us to send Spurs down, can you? for Chelsea to send Spurs down, and for Arsenal to win the title as well. So.
John, let me ask you, it's a serious one, this. Do you think these Tottenham Hotspur players are aligned to Igor Tudor?
I don't think so, what I see. I don't think so. I think they haven't bought to what the manager wants them to do. I believe that the manager is coming and he wants to make a stand. He wants to be tough. He's a tough manager. But I just think this Spurs team, there's so many young mentality there. I think the mentality there is the question. The mentality there is not big team mentality. When I look at the players, there's no desire to run. There's no desire to do the basic. You're looking at the captain of the team, Romeo. He's getting sent off every week. You need your leader to be on the pitch, especially in this difficult time. He's never on the pitch. He's never there for the manager to select him. And even when he plays, you never know what you get from him. So it's so much chaotic happening in Spurs, and I just think if they're not careful, we will be watching championship football.
And if he hadn't lost the dressing room already with what he did with the young goalkeeper last night, if you were a teammate of Kinski's, you're not going to buy into this manager, are you?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I wouldn't, because you needed at that point in time, you need a manager to come, put his arm around the goalkeeper and say, you know what, it's a mistake. It happens. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all had horrible games, and you need a manager that was going to be there and say, you know what, it happens. But the manager never offered any condolence to the goalkeeper. Even when he was walking off, he was there clamping. No, you needed the manager to go there and say, I'm with you. We'll get through this. So, I mean, we thought it was Levy, but now Levy's left the football club. But then there's still, it's not a coincidence. Last season they found themselves in this situation, this season again. So, I mean, they have to quickly find a way of starting to win games.
You see, this manager, Jim, as well. Like when I played, you would have been scared not to run because of this manager. These players don't seem scared of him now. It's a different era, isn't it, of football players where they don't fear the manager. They go the opposite way when a manager has that fear and anger about him.
Well, they all think they're going to be playing for Real Madrid, don't they?
The bare minimum you have to do is run. Mourinho used to tell us that. Sometimes, I don't care how you play. I don't expect you week in, week out to be man of the match. But what I expect from you is to week in, week out, go on that football pitch and show the desire, show the fans, show the football club that you do care. And right now, I don't see any player in this Spurs team that's doing that.
Has it got to change, John? Should they change Tudor today?
I think it's too late. I think who are you going to bring in right now? You can't get Pochettino in that they all want. You can't get him in. So
Gabby
who are you going to get?
Talking about Harry Redknapp coming in, trying to firefight until the end of the season.
He's busy until Friday.
He's here. He's here, John.
He's here until Friday.
Alex was talking about Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who, certain Spurs fans would say, get him.
Probably,
but
yeah.
Is it worth it?
It's going to be another situation. You're going to get someone in. Yeah, if you get somebody that knows the football club, like a Robbie Keane or Harry, they know the football club. The fans might straight away buy into what they want to sell and how they want the team to play. So it might be that situation might just be what's going to save this Spurs team. But I just think if you start changing the manager now with 6, 7, 8 games left, I just think it's crazy to do that.
Okay, well, very shortly, the other side of this break, we will indulge further with John Obi Mikel, whose specialised subject is not horse racing, but it certainly is Chelsea, and we'll get into that next. We're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes.
I feel sorry for Kingsley. Yeah, I feel
sorry for him, Jim.
I feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for him on a human level, right? I feel sorry for him, right? 22 years old. He's been thrown in the deep end. I get it, and he's had a stinker, right? But he is a professional footballer. Like, he is a professional football player. He's the number 2 for Tottenham Hotspur. Like, you've got to have... Like, you're meant to be a decent keeper. You cannot come in a Champions League fixture and do what he done. Like, like, on a human level, I get it. You feel for him. Igor Tudor is an absolute charlatan for putting him in there in the first place to make that decision.
It's not his fault, is it?
Well, it is his fault because he picked him.
No, but,
and then he dragged him, and then he didn't even put his arm around him to say, don't worry, lad. He just walked down the tunnel, crying.
Right, listen, I've got an idea.
Igor Tudor didn't even put his arm around him to say,
listen, Jay, I've got an idea. Right? Harry Redknapp. It's been my choice for a number of weeks now.
Harry Redknapp is not...
No, hold on. Harry Redknapp is my number 1, right? He's got the Gold Cup coming up Friday. He wins that. Jukebox man. He's on a high. He's going in the jungle. We've heard he's going in the jungle, right? All Spurs fans should vote him out early. Vote him out early. Spurs fans, you can still play a part in your season. Vote him out early, and he may rock up to save your season.
Honestly.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
You're listening to White and Crook with Gabby Agbonlahor live from the Cheltenham Festival. It's all thanks to BetMGM, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Beautiful setting here. Racing gets underway in the not too distant future, and it is a beautiful sight out there. A wonderful setting here at Cheltenham. A sunny morning going into the afternoon as well. We're joined in studio here by Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel is with us, and that, of course, gives me the cue to start talking Chelsea in a pretty detailed way. John, almost 8 months to the day, Chelsea beat PSG and they won the Club World Cup by 3-0. Tonight they go head-to-head in the Champions League. Much has changed, particularly in the dugout. Is that changed for the better? Maresca gone, Liam Rosenior in.
I was a big fan of Maresca, I have to say that. I like the way that, the team were progressing. There was something I can see, like, there's a green light of how we're playing. There was an identity of how we're playing. I can see us going forward, the way the team is going forward. But I just think right now we've taken 5 steps backwards. I like Liam Rosenia. I like what he's doing with the team, but I just think Maresca, for me, was the perfect manager for the players that we had. I like the way we're playing out from the back, the system that we played, Cole Palmer playing his favorite position, and everything was just working out for us. Of course, yes, we did go through a bad patch, and the club decided to pull the trigger. But for me, I would have stuck with Enzo Maresca.
But did Maresca, to some degree, throw his toys out the pram?
I think you did. I think you did. Obviously, when you come out and you start, criticizing the owners in public, then you're setting yourself for a sack, and that's exactly what happened. I think at some point it looks like he wanted out. He wanted out. I think obviously his hands were tied sometimes with the selection that he made, with the changes that he made, but the club has decided to go a different direction. Liam Rosenia is coming. He's done well. He's won games. But I just think in the big games right now, we don't compete. We don't compete really well in the big games. And hopefully tonight we can do that.
Do you think, Chelsea fans, John, do you feel that there's room for optimism under Liam Rosenia in that the start he's made certainly looks a good one?
Yeah, but angry.
Go on, John.
Can I say that?
It's happened again. The new Emmanuel Petit.
Yes, John, you can say it.
What really gets to me, you know where I'm going with this? Against Arsenal.
Obi,
we shouldn't be losing against Arsenal. It's been up to 4 or 5 years now. We haven't beaten Arsenal.
I know, but
Mikel Arteta keeps beating us, and it's just pissing me off.
But when you look at Arsenal, and you look at their defence, and you look at Chelsea, look at Chelsea's defence. Is Chelsea's defence the problem? Because you look at Fofana, you look at Tosin,
the goalkeeper's the problem.
Oh, the goalkeeper! Don't get me started with the goalkeeper. Oh my God, he's all over the place, isn't he? The goalkeeper. I looked at the game against What game did we lose before the Villa game? I think we played at home. He gave the ball away 20 times. He's trying to play out from the back. He's not good with his feet. He's not the best goalkeeper. If you want to win trophies, if you want to compete to win the Premier League, which for me is the hardest league to win in, you need a top goalkeeper, and that's what we had with Peter Cech.
Yeah.
We had Peter Cech.
Yes.
If you look at Man City, they had Edison when they won 4 in a row. You look at Liverpool, they have Alisson. You need a top goalkeeper. For me, Sanchez is not the guy. So many times I've said it. The fans know that. The club knows that we need a top goalkeeper to be able to win the Premier League. And for me, Sanchez is not that guy.
In view of what you've been saying about Arsenal in such an expressive way, John, will you be sick as and when they win the title?
Oh my God! I think I'll switch off my phone for like 2 weeks. My phone will be off for 2 weeks if Arsenal win the Premier League. But I still think they're gonna bottle it.
Do you?
There's still time for that. Don't worry about that. It's 6-7 games.
8 games.
They always find a way. They will slip up. They will find a way.
But are City good enough to take advantage?
That is the thing, though. City keep slipping up as well. But I think right now, I don't think City will lose any game from now till the end of the season. I think they're going to go. They're going to press that button right now. They're going to go for it. I think Pep Guardiola right now knows that this is the crunch time. But when I look at the games that Arsenal do have, I still see them dropping points. They still have to play City at home as well. So away at City. So
yeah, that's right.
Arsenal, the history of the football club tells you that they find a way of messing it up.
Let me ask you another question that I think might annoy you. Because Arsenal's style of play this season has been criticised.
Oh.
But whenever they get criticised, the response I get from Arsenal fans is that Mourinho used to park the bus. We just play like Mourinho's Chelsea.
We used to park the bus, yes, but we won legally. When I watch Arsenal play right now, they depend solely on corner kicks. You have spent almost $1 billion, Mikel Arteta, almost $1 billion. And you're telling me the only way you can win games is through corner kicks? It's ridiculous.
But does it matter how you win, John?
It does matter. It does matter.
Why?
They're winning ugly.
You'd love to be in their position at the moment.
I would love to. The only reason
They're on
why
for the quadruple.
the only reason why the Arsenal fans are not complaining with the style of football that they're playing is because they're top of the league.
Yeah.
If they're not top of the league, they will complain that they're not enjoying the type of football that they're playing. You look at the corner kicks, the holding players.
Do you think the players
it's
enjoy it? Do you think
illegally.
the attacking players enjoy this style of play?
Exactly, the creativity that they have, the potentials that they have, it's all gone out of the window. We don't see them anymore. The likes of Saka, the likes of Martinelli, the likes of Eze, Odegaard. We don't see that anymore because they depend solely on corner kicks.
Do you think Chelsea's transfer policy is going to hold them back from challenging for league titles until that changes? Because
Right
they're
now-
going for young players, aren't they? Not experienced.
Right now, I don't think we have a clue of what we're doing. We're all over the place. I don't think we have a clue of what we're doing, who we're bringing in. You need a bit of experience. I've said it so many times. We have so many fantastic young players, but players with potential. But to be consistent, what we don't have right now is the consistency. We don't have the consistency of winning games, winning 5-6 games in a row. We don't have that. And that comes with inexperience. For us to be able to go on a run, for us to be able to compete to win the Premier League, we need a bit of experience, and we don't have that.
Do you
And
not
that's
find
where
it hard, though, John, to accept the Abramovich era is over?
It's not over. That is the history of the football club. You can't come in as an owner and say, you know what, I'm going to throw away all the history of the football club, which is what brought us to
But
where
John,
we are
so,
today.
yeah, it's over. This is Bowley and Igbali's time. Are you not buying into what they're trying to do?
I'm not buying into it because it's not helping the football club. I don't see us right now win the Premier League in the next 2, 3, 4 years. I don't see it.
A man, Jose Feliciano, who is the co-founder and managing partner of Clear Lake Capital, works alongside Igbali. Arsenal hasn't won in 20 years, and we just won 2 trophies. We intend to win the Premier League very soon. I think we've put in place a much more sustainable system in terms of players and development, and that is yielding results right now.
What were those 2 trophies?
Exactly.
The Conference League and a glorified pre-season tournament.
Well, they've got to start somewhere, haven't they?
For me, the Conference League is not a trophy. I said it so many times, but it was there for us to win.
It's embarrassing that Chelsea were even in the Conference League.
But we were there, so if you're there to win it, you have to win it, which is what we did. But for me, I said it so many times, I did not watch a single game of that tournament. I didn't, because for me, that's not who we are.
No.
We're not there to win the Conference League.
Will Chelsea win the Premier League under the current ownership?
Not in the next 2, 3, 4 years. No, I don't think we will win the Premier League in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Because I don't think, except if we go out next summer or in the next 1 or 2 transfer windows and get the players, the right players.
What players?
Experienced players.
Positions?
Number 1, we have to change the goalkeeper. The top goalkeeper is needed. We have to bring in a top goalkeeper. And the centre-backs. Levi Colwell, I like him.
Yes.
I think he has the potential of becoming a top centre-back. He needs another experienced centre-back. And that's what we need. We need a couple of players, 2, 3, 4 players. I think, again, we've missed out on Victor Osimhen, a top striker who can score goals.
Why has nobody brought Osimhen to the Premier League?
I
don't understand.
I have no idea. You know, we were so close because I know exactly what happened. We were so close of him joining Chelsea. He would have been a Chelsea player right now. And we need that type of striker, a type of a Haaland striker.
What did
that
happen?
can score
Why is he
goals.
not a Chelsea striker? Come on, you can't dangle that.
I'm not spilling the beans here. But we were very, very, very close. We were very close. You know, he was close for him joining Chelsea, which is the club that he supported growing up. He wants to be a Chelsea player. So we were very, very close, but it didn't happen. And he's the top striker. He's a striker like Haaland who can come in, not so very good with the ball, but can score you goals and win you games. And that's what we need.
Last night.
You know, a final point for me, though, Gabby, getting into the break. I mean, in your Chelsea dressing room, I get where you're going with it. Terry, Lampard, Cech, Drogba. You're saying here today that maybe Bowley and Igbali haven't earmarked leaders that you need in there. And there aren't the leaders of those calibre of players today. Do you see any of those calibre of players in the current Chelsea dressing room today?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Reece James maybe, yeah, but I like now in the last season he's trying to step up to becoming that guy, you know, to becoming that captain, the leader that I expected him to be. But when I look at the whole team, the squad as a whole, the regional top player with bags of experience that can be like, you know what? Yes, this game is difficult, but we have to say it out. We have to come together, sit deep, and see this one through. We don't have that. That's what JT used to give us. Frank Lampard, DJ Drogba, Peter Cech. Difficult games where we have to go. You know, when you're playing away and it's difficult, you have to go there, sit deep, and make sure you soak up the pressure and win. And that's what we did.
So, John, will they do it over 2 legs against PSG?
I hope so. I hope so, but it's a difficult one. PSG also, they're not playing really well.
No.
And, there's so many changes between both sides. So I hope that we can be able to go through.
And just to be clear, I shouldn't try and phone you after Arsenal win the title. Because
my phone will be switched off.
His phone is going to be in the river. It's gone.
It's going to be switched off.
John, loving having you here. Just a brief apology if it's needed for some of the choice language that we used earlier on, but John's expressing himself in a way that many would as well. We're live from Cheltenham on a beautiful day. It's Ladies' Day. Oh, and it's 12 noon.
Simon, there was controversy last week, if you remember. Sections of Elland Road booed as the game against Manchester City paused for Muslim players to break their Ramadan fast. The incident occurred 11 minutes into the game. An explainer flashed up on the big screen. Do you remember that? Play has been paused briefly to allow players to break their fast, but the boos continued alongside some chanting. Manchester City on that occasion named 3 players, Muslim players, Marmoush, Cherki and Nuri, in their starting 11. And it goes back to the fact that in 2021, an agreement was introduced to allow Muslim players to break their fast during a Premier League match. But there was a lot of chat around that and as to why a certain number of Leeds fans ended up booing. Was it because of a pause in play because of the fasting? Well, ahead of another fasting break in yesterday's FA Cup match, Leeds this time were proactive online with a statement which seemed to outline why the booing may have happened, blaming themselves for poor communication. And Leeds said, Leeds are asking for respect to be shown during this Sunday's 5th round tie against Norwich. Play will be paused to allow players observing Ramadan to break their fast, including our own striker, Joel Pirro. And that seemed to work because they referred to the first game at Elland Road. It was paused. And then they said, now, while we displayed a message on our big screen at Elland Road to explain why the game had been paused, it wasn't visible for approximately 25% of the stadium, including the South Stand. In our
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight.
Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Mid-mornings and into the afternoon as well. It's 5 minutes past 12 noon. Good afternoon, everybody, from the Cheltenham Festival. It's Jim White, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor, and we are live on talkSPORT. If you are watching, and many of you are, if you're watching on YouTube, we're live on Fire TV, Chromecast, Android, Google TV, even Prime Video, then you will see what this day is all about. It's Ladies' Day, and of course, it's day 2 of the racing, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase, and there is the very trophy that is up for grabs. You will see that 3 has become 4 in the last hour, because we are joined here at Cheltenham by Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel, and John is with us for the next half hour with some fireworks with him in the last half hour, and who's to say that that won't be repeated in the next 30 minutes. So much to get through, and of course so much to look forward to tonight. John's former club Chelsea in Champions League action in Gay Paris up against Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid take on Manchester City. John, I think, said in the last half hour he doesn't really see Manchester City slipping up either in the Premier League or in the Champions League at this point onwards. And Arsenal, John Obi Mikel's nemesis, are in Germany tonight playing at Bayer Leverkusen. Those are the round of 16 first leg ties tonight, and you will not miss a trick on talkSPORT all the way through tonight. Whether John likes it or not, Arsenal very much doing the business in the Champions League and very much doing the business in the Premier League, on course to win the thing. But John Obi Mikel has annoyed a whole bunch of Arsenal fans on this very show today by saying the way they're trying to do it, certainly in the Premier League, is illegal. And you stand by that. Do you want to just explain why you stand by that? They're doing it illegally. What's illegal about it, John?
What is illegal about it, it's for me, every time I watch them during the corner kicks, during set pieces, what they do during set pieces, for me, it's illegal. You can't do that. First of all, they're impeding the goalkeeper, and now they start holding plays. When you hold a player, when you impede a player from jumping. I watched the game against Chelsea when they played against us. Declan Rice was grabbing, I don't know who's the left back. What's his name? He was holding him so he couldn't jump. And for me, that is, how can the referee not see that? Even if the ball goes in, how can the VAR not see that? And for me, the PGMOL, they need to come out and they need to straight away, they need to stop this, because if they don't stop this, the whole bunch of teams are going to start doing it. And for me, that's illegal. So that is what I mean, that Arsenal are trying to cheat their way to winning the Premier League.
They're trying to cheat their way to winning the Premier League. But this kind of stuff at corner kicks has been going on for years, John.
Not the size that I'm seeing right now. It's week in, week out. You look at Gabriel, you look at Saliba, you look at Declan Rice. They are physically manhandling players. They're holding players. You can't do that. That is penalty. It doesn't matter how much you look at it. The VAR can see that.
I was shocked that the Declan Rice one against Chelsea wasn't a penalty.
It was plain.
It was two
open.
penalties, to be fair. It was the grappling and it was the handball as well.
Yep.
And nothing was given. Very odd.
But is it an Arsenal problem or is it a Premier League problem? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game. But that's what I'm saying. That the PGMOL, they need to come out. The referee association, they need to come out and they need to stamp out. They need to stamp that out right now, because everybody can see it. Even the week after that, did you see what Martinelli did to the Brighton player?
Yes.
When he grabbed, how can you not see that?
Yes.
Well, that was a penalty. That was a penalty.
But Are you not, John, playing right into the hands of Arsenal legends like Emmanuel Petit and Martin Keown, who both say people like you are demonstrating there is very definitely an agenda against Arsenal? Have a listen to Monsieur Petit alongside Keown.
Just like former players, on the TV pundits, radio pundits, they've been saying the same thing for weeks and months now.
Saying what?
That Arsenal is going to fail, Arsenal is winning ugly, Arsenal a set pieces team.
Who are saying this?
Who's saying they're going to fail?
Yeah, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Carragher, all of them, even some former Arsenal players. I just crossed the path, with Ray Parlour, just came out and say, "Are you confident?" Say, "No, I'm not."
So the reasons why you catch shrapnel is because you lack objectivity. No one's got any agenda against Arsenal. Nobody in this studio.
Well, that's where you're wrong. That's naive. Who's naive now? I was talking about somebody who works on this for this network, who for me takes fun.
Well, anyway, your manager said
He's having a giggle. Arsenal just need to shut all the noise out and just go and play their football.
That's
what I'm saying. It's really
when they play
it's
Wolves
really
and
interesting
Nottingham
when Arsenal trip and fall over. The ridicule that they face, it's unprecedented. The amount of scrutiny that this team every week, Monday, it's like, oh, can we win it again?
Petit and Keown do not like the coverage that Arsenal are getting at this point in time, John. And I think if they're listening to you live with us on talkSPORT today, they'll be both saying that's exactly what we mean. John Obi Mikel is demonstrating there is a definite agenda against Arsenal. Would they not be right?
For me, when listening to that, for me, that is desperation. That's a team that is desperate of winning the Premier League because they know that they haven't won the Premier League for the last 22 years, 23 years. And now they're so desperate. They want to cheat their way through it. They want to tick the box and say, you know what, yeah, we finally won it. Win it the right way. Play the game the right way and win the game the right way, which is legally. Then for me, week in, week out, when I see them do that, and the type of football that they're playing as well, I've said it here.
It's not fun.
It's not fun to watch. It's so rigid. There's no creativity.
But why should they care?
But Jim,
I know that. But no, week in, week out. Maybe you don't play well in 1 week. The next week you play well. It's week in, week out. For the past 5-6 weeks, we've seen Arsenal play horribly, and they're winning.
When people talk about Mourinho sides, I played against Mourinho sides many times. Yes, they found a way at times, but they played entertaining football. Lampard, SCN, these players scoring from the edge of the box, scoring screamers. You watch Arsenal now, and they're playing for set pieces. Like, that's not entertaining football. If you're a fan and you're paying £100 a ticket to go and watch Arsenal, are you getting your money's worth?
But again, is that just an Arsenal problem, or is that modern football?
But again,
because every team are playing for set piece. You get teams who kick it straight out from kickoff now. We saw it in the Champions League final last season. PSG did it to get territory.
But PSG played some fantastic football last season. They played amazing football. But
how many teams in this Premier League would you pay to watch?
Definitely not Arsenal. Definitely not Arsenal, the way they play. City, you can pay to go watch City, the way they play. Jeremy Doku taking 2-3 players around. Ryan Cherki, Maverick, you never know what you expect from him. Fantastic, good to watch.
Yeah.
Phil Foden. Erling Haaland doing what he does best, scoring goals. With Arsenal, who am I going to pay there to go watch? Bukayo Saka, who's the player that we thought, has the creativity. Right now, in the last 4 or 5 games, he hasn't done it.
But John, they've lost 3 games in 30, mate. They lead the Premier League by 7 points. If they win it, they win it. If they win it, will you recognise Arsenal as Premier League champions?
Not if they're going and winning the way they're playing right now. No, I wouldn't. Because for me, it's a cheat. They've cheated their way to winning the Premier League. So I wouldn't recognize them as winners. Because for me, it's illegal the way they're winning games. It's illegal. Unless the Premier League right now, from this weekend, stamp that out. We don't want to see that in the game.
So if you were playing for Arsenal, asked by Arteta, these are the tactics, and this is what I want you to do, you'd say, that's not my style of football, I can't do that.
No, you can't, because he spent $1 billion.
You would not go with Arteta's tactics?
No, when I look at the team, there's so much creativity in that team. So much creativity. Eze, Odegaard, Saka. Let them express themselves. When you watch them, they're so rigid. They depend solely on the corner kick. When there's corner kick, they're licking their, they're like, that's not what you want to see.
Sometimes when I watch Arsenal,
the set-piece coach is on a goal bonus.
Exactly. Tell me about
he's just built his second mansion.
But when I watch Arsenal games, though, I switch over because I'm bored.
Have you seen the stats of the games that they've won when they've scored with set pieces and the games that they've won when they haven't scored the set? I think 13 games this season when they haven't scored set pieces. They won 3 of those games. And when 15 games when they've scored with set pieces, they won I think 16, they've won 15 of those games. So it shows you how much they depend solely on corner kicks.
John, our producer's an Arsenal fan, the little fella on the end. He is furious.
He's going to kick me
and
out
Arsenal
soon.
fans listening are going to be furious with your comments.
The Premier League, though.
But here's the truth. You know what the Arsenal fans don't like? They dream so much. And they don't like the truth about the football club.
But they are going to win it. They won't care when they win it.
Yeah, they became a yo-yo team. So right now they're so desperate of winning the Premier League. So they can.
I don't know if there's anything in this. When John joined us, there was about 5 people here in the BetMGM box in the studio here. There's about 150 has now gathered, and they're all tuning in to hearing what John Obi Mikel has got to say. But John's got a lot more to say in the final 15 minutes or so. We're with him. He's with us till 12:30. So much for Arsenal. A lot more to discuss, and of course those 3 big ties tonight involving Arsenal, Manchester City and Chelsea. We're live from Cheltenham this beautiful Wednesday lunchtime, and we're live with Salco, where the trade goes.
It's not just an embarrassment for the old firm, it's an embarrassment for the whole of Scottish football. And Scottish football as a whole is getting tarnished with this. And I just think it's incredibly unfair on the normal, well-behaved football supporter that they're getting tarnished with this brush. And I was listening to David Tanner. It's not just that yesterday. This has been going on for a long, long time. And Rangers as a football club need to address their own house. They need to put a stop to this. I know the way of stopping it is by banning them. Get them gone from the stadium. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, it's with the mask on as well, isn't it? All the covering their faces up as well, Gregor.
How's that anything to do with football? I go to a football match. I like to wear my colours. These people are not football supporters. They're mindless thugs. They're mindless thugs.
Yeah.
Gregor, I've always said, look, I'm a Glasgow boy. I've always said that, the history and all that. There's nothing, for me, there's nothing wrong with being excited before the game, singing your songs for 90 minutes, and then going home and being normal again. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to run on pitches, throw a few punches, and that's just beyond a joke. It's a disgrace.
That's the way it used to happen. Many years, Rangers, there was trouble. Of course there was. It's part of the terrorism, but not like this. And that's, as I said, it's a minority of people that's causing this.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
We're live from Cheltenham this Wednesday lunchtime, and of course a huge day of racing lies ahead. Sir Alex Ferguson's horse running on later on this afternoon. Big night in the Champions League, of course, as well. Alex is alongside Gabby and myself, so too Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel. John's Chelsea are in action against Paris Saint-Germain tonight. Arsenal, who we've been talking about in the last half hour in Germany against Bayer Leverkusen. Real Madrid take on Manchester City. There's Martin Turner, who I used to work with at Sky, top fella. He said, Jim, John Obi Mikel is fantastic, but I'm afraid to say he's talking nonsense. Second only to City in goals scored, backing young English players. This is Arsenal, starting two brilliant 16-year-olds against Mansfield. Let's have some balance in this, please. Arsenal aren't all that bad. They're coming after you here, John. They're coming after you.
I know they are. That's the Arsenal fans. They never want to hear the truth. You know what I mean? So you just have to keep telling them the truth. At some point, they will have to listen. They are in a dreamland. They want to win the Premier League. I can understand that. And right now, they've become so desperate. And I still believe, and I still think, with the history of what they've done in the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, they will still find a way of bottling it. Because right now...
Are you joking, or do you mean that? Do you think they'll bottle it?
I still do believe, because they still play City away at the Etihad. And right now, they're only 7 points. And I still believe Arsenal will drop points. I don't believe Manchester City right now will drop any points right now going forward to the end of the season.
John, you take Manchester City to eliminate Real Madrid over 2 legs,
yes,
right? One of the stars of Madrid, Vinicius Jr., there was, of course, you know all about it, the alleged racist incident involving Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani. Your former manager, Jose Mourinho, was accused of gaslighting here. And you probably know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Do you agree that's what he did?
Knowing the person that I know, the manager that I know, and the human being that I know, I don't think that's what he meant. But he's a very experienced manager. He should know better. I think after the game straight away, when he came out and he made that statement, that's not what I expected from Jose Mourinho. The manager that I know, he knows better. He knows this is a very sensitive subject. It's not a football subject. It's a societal problem. And I expected him to come out and straight away say there's no place for this. It doesn't matter. A player is allowed to celebrate. It doesn't matter how you celebrate. And looking at the celebration, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the celebration. And I expected Jose Mourinho. I know, tempers are flying high. There's emotions in the game, but he has so much experience. And I said it in my podcast that I expected more from him. And I think he's come out and he said it. He's come out a couple of weeks after that, and he said, if he's found guilty, he has no place in my team, and that's the manager that I know.
Did he go down in your estimation, John?
Sorry?
Did Mourinho go down in your estimation?
You mean in terms of what he's done?
Yeah, in terms of reputation, in terms of who he is.
No, I believe that when all this is said and done, it's still under investigation. I believe that he will come out, the Jose Mourinho that I know, because the last thing you can associate Jose Mourinho is racism. I know the man, I know the manager that I work under. So many of us African players. He brought so many African players to Chelsea. We used to call him an African dad. That's what he used to call himself. So there is no place for that, and he knows that. Racism, there is no place for racism. The one thing that unites everybody is football. Right now, the way the world is going, football is the thing that unites us. And Jose Mourinho knows better. And I expected him to do better. And I'm glad that he's come out and he's made that statement. If he's found guilty, there is no place for him.
What upset me, though, Obi, was when he said, the legend of this football club, Eusebio, he's black, so Benfica isn't a racist club. No one said it was a racist club.
Yeah.
It was a alleged racist comment from the player. It was like he had his back up and he wanted to defend his football club when didn't know the full facts. That's silly, because that's like saying, oh, I have a black friend, I can't be racist. That's stupid.
True. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
John, I think IFAB are looking at outlawing players covering their mouths when they're in some kind of confrontation with an opposition player. Would you back that? This kind of routine, or even pulling a shirt over the mouth?
Definitely.
Would you back that?
Definitely. I back that 100%, because if you are innocent, if you're not saying something that bad, you shouldn't cover your mouth. And when I look at the player, the way he did it, not even covering his mouth with his mouth, he put his shirt over his mouth.
Yeah.
And that tells me he's saying something so bad that he has to cover his mouth with his shirt. So for me, I back that 100%.
Looking ahead to the summer, Nigeria not in the World Cup, not going to the USFA. I mean, that's a hammer blow for you, isn't it?
It is a hammer blow, and I've said it so many times. Again, when you have a country as big as we do, over 300 million, 270 million, 300 million people, the biggest continent, the biggest country in Africa, and we're not going to the World Cup, second time in a row. I've said it so many times that the FA, the people that are running the football club, they all should resign. They have to resign because it's the second time it's happened. We have one of the best teams in Africa, and we're not going to be in the World Cup. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. So the people running the FA, the president of the FA, the organization people, they have to resign because African football is growing so much, and we are being left behind. Nigeria has been left behind. We should be leading the way. Look at what Morocco is doing with their team, with their country. They're growing, they're developing, and we keep going backwards. Time after time. We need the people, the right people to run.
We spoke earlier, didn't we, about 1994? I was 8 years old. I remember watching the World Cup with my dad, Amakachi, Sunday Alice, you know, the big Nigerian players. And you spoke as well, didn't you? That was the era that you looked up to. Nigeria, the fans were the fans of the tournament. They made the tournament. So they need to be in World Cups, don't they?
We have to be at the World Cup. And the second time in a row that we're not in it. So something is definitely wrong. I've said it, something is definitely wrong. And the people,
what is that? What's the main issue?
It's the people, the head people that are running the organization, the FA. All of them, I said it, if we did not qualify for the World Cup, they should all put in their resignation letters. And they haven't done that. We need the right people, people who've been there, done it, know how to run the football, who can put the money in the right places.
John,
to
would you step up? Would you take a top job, the top job at the Nigerian FA, at the Federation?
I would, because I know, because what I've seen, and the people like Jeje Okocha, Kanu, people who've been there, who knows how to deal with players. We know how to talk to players. We know how to make sure that things are done properly. So that players, when they do come back home, they feel comfortable playing for their country.
So they won't be there, Nigeria. England will. Do they win it?
I think so. You've got the players, but every time we say it's coming home, but it's never coming home.
You see, that is exactly what us Scots think.
You teed him up there.
It's coming home. What's coming home, John? On a serious note, you think under Tuchel, is Tuchel the difference?
Yes, I think he can be the difference. I've said it so many times. Tuchel knows how to get the best out of, especially young players. And I think the tussle between him and Jude Bellingham, I loved what he's done with those players. You have to earn your place. It's not a given. And he's made that pretty clear. If you want to be in my starting 11, you have to earn it. And Jude Bellingham, as the rest of the other players, they have to earn it. And if somebody's going to bring it home, it's Thomas Tuchel.
And do you think he should follow the Arteta blueprint?
Oh, no. Nobody wants to tune in the summer to watch such a horrible style of play.
Oh, my God. Before we go then, so you're taking England, and you're serious about that. You do take England to go all the way.
I think Tuchel
if everything works under Tuchel, they could win it.
I think Tuchel is a brilliant manager. I do back England because I think Thomas Tuchel is what he did when he was at time at Chelsea is a fantastic manager. So I do back England.
Gabby's worried about the weather over in North America.
This guy. Oh yeah, the weather is the weather we play a massive part because I saw what happened in the summer.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I saw what happened in the summer with the Club World Cup. It is going to be brutal. It is going to be hot and humid. So the players, they need to be ready for that.
When will an African country win the World Cup?
Oh,
in your lifetime. In your lifetime.
I hope in my lifetime.
I hope
in my lifetime. We came close with Morocco last time, didn't we?
Sure. Semi-final.
Hopefully this time, maybe.
John, quick fire before you leave us at 12:30. You do take England under Tuchel to win the World Cup. Who wins the Champions League?
Listen, you can never write off Real Madrid because they've been there, they've done it. Especially this time of the tournament, they step up and they know how to win it. If you're going to ask me, I don't want Arsenal to win it, so I might have to go for City.
Who wins the Premier League?
City.
Carabao Cup?
City.
FA Cup? Chelsea.
You can't pick Jose Mourinho, but tactically, who's the best manager you've ever worked with?
Tactically, Carlo Ancelotti.
And who was the best manager?
Carlo Ancelotti.
Wow.
Top manager.
Yeah.
And again, who said it? If Manchester United are looking for a manager that's going to come in there, Manchester United, if they need a manager that's going to come in and run the whole institute, manage the place, and bring them back to the glory days, Carlo Ancelotti is the man.
And out of all the managers that you've worked with, who was the most disappointing? Who was the biggest letdown?
Oof. The biggest what?
Letdown. Disappointment.
Oh, don't put me in this spot.
No one's listening.
Go on,
No one's
John.
listening. It's okay.
There's few, but I wouldn't say names.
Was it Rafa? Oh boy, I hesitate to think the scenes out there if John Obi Mikel gets a winner today here at Cheltenham. Incidentally, Sir Alex Ferguson's horse is running out there today. Have you ever spoken to Sir Alex?
Oh yeah, it's all.
Has it all been patched up?
It's all been patched
because
up.
he wanted you not to go to Chelsea, but to go to him at United.
Yes, he did. Yeah. But we've spoken since after that. Right now, we've made up. He's forgiven me. But you know what they say? The boss never forgives. Sir Alex never forgives. So yeah, I don't think he's forgiving me, but it's all fine now.
Hey, what can you do? John, it's been a blast.
Legend.
Wonderful having you here at
Thank you,
Cheltenham.
guys. Thanks for having
Enjoy your afternoon.
And Mikel Arteta sends his regards.
Oh yeah, amazing.
And the set piece coach.
We're live from Cheltenham at 12:30.
When I saw the scenes, whether the scale of the scenes were back to the 80s or not, which is my argument that they clearly weren't, there was not a surprise in my mind that there was an issue when you've got the two sets of fans in a combustible environment and large amounts of the opposing side being in the away ground for the first time in significant years. I look at the rules and say, it's interesting about rules being quoted as the SFA enforcing a 20% rule around the stadium capacity, yet the rules in the SPFL require you to provide a certain amount of away fans for the SPFL games, and Rangers and Celtic seem to have ignored that for years. So I don't really understand why they couldn't have ignored it for this game and turned around and said, in the interests of what we think is common sense, right now we don't think it's appropriate to stick 7,500 fans in a football stadium from the opposition right now because we think it's going to lead to problems. Then you look beyond that and go, well, you could have ignored the rules if you wanted to, and that may be me being a little bit cheap on the observation, but notwithstanding it, it's still there. You then look at it and go, if you don't think this was surprising, you think it's disappointing. I bet if I ask Bill Leckie, put aside your disappointment and your unhappiness, are you inherently surprised? Well, probably not. So what was done to prevent it? What was done to ensure that prevention, whether prevention should have to be part and parcel of a bloody football match, is a different argument entirely. What we're dealing with now is another set of circumstances surrounding two football clubs that should be at the pinnacle of Scottish football for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. And you can't strip them out of the cup, because you strip them out of the cup, all of a sudden the commercial revenues of the cup come into play.
Exactly.
We've seen this situation. So what did you do, honestly, when you look down and distill it down to prevent this?
Shin pads are a footballer's best friend. Even if players like Jack Grealish do wear such small ones you can barely even see them. But what's the story with shin pads, and are there actually any rules on how big they should be? It all started with cricket, actually. Cricketers had been wearing shin pads since the 1700s. It was thanks to this guy that shin protection made its way over to football. Meet Samuel Widdowson. He was a cricketer and a footballer. He played for Nottingham Forest back in the late 1800s, and he wanted a way to protect his legs from nasty tackles. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads for a century. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. His Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this kind of protection was pretty important for footballers. And so, in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says they must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, even though there have been calls for it to be changed. But for now, that's why Grealish and co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just gone 12:30. It's a beautiful afternoon here at Cheltenham. We're coming to you live from the racecourse. Day 2 of the racing here, culminating with the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase. It's Ladies' Day, and if you're watching live on YouTube, you probably see we have the trophy on the table in front of Alex Crook, Gabby Agbonlahor, and myself. We're going to concentrate on Matters Championship in just a second, but only last night, looking ahead, Obi Mikel was with us as we were looking ahead moments ago to the upcoming World Cup, and John was saying he strongly fancies Tuchel's England to go all the way. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen, but only last night the President Donald Trump was saying that Iran would be very welcome to compete in the USA come the finals in the summer. Alex, I think we're getting a bit of developing news on that front.
Yeah, we're yet to get this officially confirmed, but it is being reported now by a lot of media outlets that the Iran sports minister has said that they will not be taking their place at the World Cup, obviously due to the ongoing conflict. As you say, only yesterday, Gianni Infantino said that President Trump maintained Iran were welcome to participate, but looks like that probably won't happen. How FIFA react to this remains to be seen.
That's right. Ironically, only yesterday with the assistant boss of Iraq, Rennie Mullenstein, once of Manchester United, in studio with us, and there was a suggestion that if Iran go by the wayside, Iraq might take their place. A whole lot to happen between now and then, but we'll keep across it for you right here on talkSPORT. It was a busy night in the Championship last night, and in one of the matches, very interesting result, 2-1 win for Hull over Wrexham, and I'm delighted to say, joining us here at Cheltenham, Hull assistant manager Dean Holden has stopped by. Dean, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
You're dressed for the occasion. You look a racing man.
Thank you.
Are you a man in the know when it comes to horse racing?
I'm sweating because I've been legging it because I was late. Should have been earlier, but we had an issue with childcare, but we're here now, and it's I have to say it's absolutely just surreal to be sat here with you guys overlooking the finishing line, so delighted to be here.
It's a special setting. I mean, we've been saying that all morning, but when you look out at it, Dean, it is special, isn't it?
The amount of times I've drove up the motorway listening to the breakfast show and you hear Alan Brazil or Ali McCoy talking about the dew coming up and the sunrise coming up, and to be actually sat here, yeah, it's magnificent. I have to say, thanks for
Listen, what did you guys do last night? You got the win over Wrexham. It's given you a real boost, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're right in the mix with 9 games to go. It was a tough game. People say ex-Premier League side Hull City against ex-National League Wrexham. That's forgetting what's happened in recent times, and they've obviously spent a lot of money. Wrexham, I think, it's a brilliant story, I have to say. But it was a tough game. They've built really well for this championship season. They've got good options, and they put you under a lot of pressure. So for us, we went a goal up for a wonderful free kick through Joe Gellert, fantastic young player we've got on loan from Leeds, and then we missed a penalty, and then we go 2-0 up. We miss a big chance, and they get one back, and all of a sudden their atmosphere there at the racecourse is incredible. We managed to see it out, and we're comfortably sat in the playoffs, and we're obviously really happy to be there.
We know the strikers get the limelight, and I love that as an ex-striker, but how important has McBurney and Gallagher been? 13 goals each this season, top goal scorers for your team. Have they been the star players this season?
Yeah, probably the two stands out. I think Kyle Joseph, who's not scored as many, but has helped out along the way when Ollie had a period that he was out injured. I think we've suffered all season through a lot of injuries. I know clubs go through that, but we've really had big injuries to key players. Ryan Giles at the moment is out, and we've had to find a way to make it work. And working under Sergei, I'm sure we'll come on to him, our Croatian manager, he's brilliant to work with, because he just finds a way with the players that are available. No excuses. It's black and white, Gabby. It's, as we were talking off air, a little bit old school like it used to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. And he finds a way to win games. It's not a set system or set style of play for one game. It's a bit horses for courses. And,
Dean, tell me about him. Sergei Jakirovic. I didn't know much about him.
We actually came up against each other last season, so I was in the Turkish Superliga for the last 4 months of the season. We were at different clubs, never really spoke to each other other than a little bit of a head-to-head. Sergei was trying to get one of our players sent off. He was at Kayserispor and I was at Demirspor, and I didn't like that, so I sort of showed him that I wasn't happy, and he came storming into our dugout. We had a face-to-face with Sergei's difficult. He's 6'5", and that was challenging for me. But I had to stand up to him. And come the summer, when the club were looking, it was the club that were looking to bring in an English coach, ex-manager, knows the Championship, to work alongside the foreign guys. I was put to Sergei, and we had a chat on Zoom. And him and his staff really liked that idea that I'd gone to a club in Turkey that was already relegated and was prepared to stand up and fight for every game, and that's just how we see the game. That's what we do over here. But to them it was like, okay, yeah, we quite like this guy. So I'm sure they did a bit more research as well, I don't know, but yeah, we've really struck it off. It's been a brilliant relationship.
We've just had John Obi Mikel quite scathing of Arsenal, says they're cheating their way to the title, obviously using the dark arts with those set pieces. As a coach yourself, do you use all those marginal gains that you can?
I love John. We had John Obi at Stoke City right at the end of his career. He's a great fella. I heard Alan Pardew had said something about this.
He said that if they won the title, it'd come with an asterisk. Yeah,
come on. I mean, I was never lucky enough to play in the Premier League. 3 broken legs put stop to that, and I wasn't very good, Gabby. But you did.
Oh, you was, mate. Yeah.
And listen, to go and win the Premier, however you win the Premier League, you deserve to win it. I love Arteta. I'm not a big fan of his antics on the sideline. If I was playing at fullback, I'd find a way to maybe make a tackle and go over the touchline and maybe catch him one, just to put him back in his box a little bit. But I love him to bits. I watch the show. I love the way that he manages his players. I love the way that he thinks outside the box. And to win the Premier League, however you win it, you've got to find a way. And they're doing something. The reason other clubs don't like it is because they're maximising a different element to the game. No, is it beautiful football every week? Do the Arsenal fans care? No, the set pieces. Yeah, it's a little bit wrestling to see Kobe Mainoo's Instagram after the Everton game when there was all wrestling going on in the goal. The rules are, especially with VAR, the rules are a little bit all over the place at the moment. But if Arsenal go and win it, they deserve to win it.
Well, that's it, Dean. And regards to Championship, I mean, you're sitting now 5th, very much in the playoff picture. You get to the playoffs, that's more games. I'll get to that in a moment. But it's brutal, isn't it? And the schedule's brutal. But you cope, because you have to, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sergei himself found that a little bit. Yeah, when he first came in, till you walk in the shoes, Jim. You know, you said till you walk in the shoes, you can do all the research you want. But when you've been there and done it, I think that's probably one of the reasons the club wanted me in there, is just to kind of, you know, it's all right the first part of the season. You've got 3 international breaks. We have a decent amount of time off where everybody's able to take their eye away from football and spend time with their families and come back re-energised. It's worked really well for us. The November to March international break is the tough one. The Christmas period and all the games, and we're just coming to the end of that now. We've got 2 games before this next break, and managing the bumps in the road. That's what Sergei's been fantastic at, managing a defeat. We've only gone, I think, all season only a couple of defeats. We've never gone 3, 4, 5, 6 without a win. We've been able to emotionally get over a defeat, focus on the next one. Don't go in the game and start battering the players and start saying things that you regret the next day and losing confidence. And it's not brushing under the carpet. We deal with it, but we deal with it in a man-to-man. Yeah, and we've got a good dressing room, I have to say. We've got a lot of players.
So if you get to the playoffs, Dean, you back yourselves?
Yeah, we back ourselves against anybody in a one-off get.
What do you think?
In a playoff
What
semi-final.
do you think of the next season? 2 extra playoff places. What do you think of that?
The gut instinct was I really like the idea because it gives everybody else a chance. Then you start hearing, like, if somebody finishes in 8th, they might finish 30-odd points behind, you know, the teams that are up there. And what does that look like in the Premier League? I'm surprised if the Premier League have had a say on it. I'm not sure if they did, but I'm not surprised they've allowed that to happen. I don't think it's maybe great for the Premier League in terms of who comes up. But we're not bothered about that. We'll take every opportunity to get out the Championship. 100%. If I was in the Premier League, I might have said a different answer.
And you look at the teams who've come up into the Premier League this season. Sunderland obviously aren't going to go down. Leeds, I think most people think they're going to have enough to survive. How difficult is it now for a club coming up from the Championship, though, to bridge that gap? Because obviously we've seen the last couple of seasons, 3 up, straight back down again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be in a position to deal with that come the summer. I think the good thing for us, we'll be out of the embargo by then. We've had 2 transfer windows where we've not been able to spend a penny. I think the recruitment, I have to say, has been fantastic from the club, but we'll hopefully deal with that in the summer. Wolves are having a run, aren't they? West Ham are having another go. Tottenham could get pulled into it. Could, you know, it's incredible to see what's going on in the gap between the bottom 10 of the Championship and the top 10 of the Championship. Never mind the Premier League is huge. So credit to, I think, Sunderland with a standout, certainly the first half of the season.
I've got a feeling about Holden, I must admit, not just because you're sitting with me, but by the way you've outlined it, it seems that everyone's in the mood to really focus on getting this job done.
Yeah,
at the back end of the season.
I think from when I met Jared, the sporting director, in the summer in London, it was top 6 or bust. That was what we were looking at. Then 2 days later, we got the embargo that no one knew was coming.
Yeah.
And like I say, there was nobody was crying. Nobody was, the club obviously appealed it and did what they did, but we've played by the rules as far as I understand it. The owners in the training ground twice a week. Most weeks we're playing 5-a-side. No, Crook has been over and met him, and Gabs, I think yourself. When it comes from the top and there's that real feeling of togetherness, the fans are now on board. The fans have had a real tough time for the last 2 years. I know Liam got them to just outside the playoffs 2 years ago, but the home record, they won 5 games at home in 2 years. So this year, we're breaking records in every game at the moment.
Where
so
are you being at West Brom this weekend?
We're at West Brom on Saturday, yeah.
Right. And listen, if you go up, you fancy life with VAR?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I just think they need to bring it into the stadium a little bit more. I know they're using the audio now, but going back 30 years when I was watching Rugby League at Wigan at Central Park back in the... Even then it was on the screens and the people in the stand. And Rugby League have not got nowhere near the money football has nowadays. So I think if they can bring it in a little bit more, make it more of a spectacle. Cause
you think they should have it in the Championship, Dean?
I think they should, yeah. I think there's too much at stake. I'm not going to say we've come on the wrong end of a couple of... There was one at the weekend. It was just a ridiculous decision for a goal disallowed. So... People say it evens itself out. We're actually we're on a negative at the moment in terms of them. In terms of apologies from the FA, I should say. Hopefully, it will even itself out come the end of the season.
Dean, good luck from this point onwards, and we'll see you. I think in the playoffs. Enough of all this football talk. Give me a tip for Cheltenham this afternoon.
Oh come on! I don't know anything about horse racing. My wife and my 2 sons just to enjoy the day. But
I see your wife and the 2 boys.
We met a couple on the train. I forget the name now. We met a couple on the train who've got. They had a part ownership apparently, so all of a sudden I was their best mate, and then she said, "Oh, we've got an eyelash."
Okay.
They own like 0.1%. I can't remember the name, so why am I telling you that?
Dean, Alex Crook's a part owner as well. You want to see what he's inherited? Oh my God!
Well, I see that with his tie. So.
Dean Holden, Hull assistant manager, with us live at Cheltenham.
What's with this tie, Crookie? No one's having it.
We're heading towards 1 o'clock.
My lucky tie.
So to me, the manager, when you look at him and the way that they're reacting to him as a manager, is everything that I need to know that this guy is absolutely out of his depth and he's got to get out of that football club.
Yeah.
Because if they stick with this guy, we are gone. This club is gone. Yeah. And then at the end of the season...
Who knows? But hold on a second.
At the end of the season...
So you change a manager and your fortune's going to change?
No, I'm not saying they're going to change, but it can't get any worse. No, it can't get any worse than this man.
Drew the second half today.
Jay, shut up!
Honestly, you lot. I don't know what you want.
Stop going on about the second half. You can't keep going on about it. Like, seriously, mate. Seriously, shut up. You can't keep talking about the second half. Oh, we drew the second half, mate. Honestly, I'm trying not to swear. Like, you can't keep saying that, mate. You can't keep saying that. You're a professional pundit. You can't keep saying that.
He did draw the second half.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to be professional here. I'm not going to. I'm going to swear. I'm going to swear. Go to a break.
You've done it again, haven't you? You've done it again. You've walked. Jay? He's walked out again. I mean, factually, they drew the second half.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+. GambleAware.org.
Here at Cheltenham, we're getting all ready for the first race at 1:20, but we're going to catch up on the odds now thanks to BetMGM. And on that note, Matt Gibson joins us live in the show. Matt, good afternoon to you, mate. I've noticed you on the huddle over there. You're all writing. You're all conferring with each other, sharing notes. The moment has come. You want to start with golden goals, do you?
Well,
I don't think we need to do golden goals. We're talking about racing today.
Before Crookie starts going through the card, we just hope that his racing predictions are better than his football ones. He's 0 from 32 selections, Jim.
Oh, that's difficult to achieve.
He's
my aim now is to go the whole season.
He should have listened to Gabby the last few weeks.
Wow.
Gabby said to him, just say 2-1, mate. Arsenal-Chelsea, 2-1. Mansfield-Arsenal, 2-1. So, maybe...
Is that the first time in your life anyone's ever said you should have listened to Gabby?
It's nice to hear. Keep going.
So Jim, what we're going to do for him, we won't get his prediction now, but we'll give him a lot to think about over the next 48 hours. So we'll give him the choice of game because he wasn't happy about Arsenal-Mansfield, was he? He said, it's a tricky one. He saw that. So we'll go through the games, Crookie. You can stop me if you hear one you like. Sunderland versus Brighton, Chelsea versus Newcastle, Arsenal-Everton, Palace-Leeds. Be careful with that one if you choose that one. Man U Villa and Liverpool Spurs.
Can't be Man U Villa.
Let's do Man U Villa.
So you want to do Man U Villa?
Because it's obviously going to be a comfortable home victory, but I'll try and work out how many.
We'll get Dan on Friday to see what you've got for us on that one, mate. Hopefully we can break the duck.
I think he's going to be as successful at forecasting as he is with horse racing.
Do you know, Jim?
Or horse race owning.
We spoke on Friday a little bit previewing the Cheltenham. We talked about the Gold Cup.
Oh.
So.
on Friday, he tipped up Galopin de Champs.
Yeah.
Obviously, fantastic horse, won the Gold Cup here before. 15-2, Crookie. He was a little bit overpriced. 20 minutes later, Willie Mullins pulled him out.
Yeah.
Pulled him out of the race.
Fabulous.
He must have heard Crookie tip him up.
Continuing my form on that one.
Oh, well then, Matt, today's racing. And Alex, if you could stay quiet at this stage, tell us who's going to win and why.
Do you know, I think the first race of Belter, Jim. I'm really keen on No Drama this end. You had Megan on the show earlier. She's keeping everything crossed. It's her old man's a really strong chance this week for Paul and team. I was here in November. I think Crookie actually was here the same day. It absolutely danced up the hill. Beat a horse called Heads Up comfortably. Megan tipped it up that day. And I don't know, Crookie, when you see one dance up the hill and you're here and you're on it, you just kind of have put a circle around it and go where that it's won the Challow.
It's just a bit short now, isn't it, with so many runners?
It is a wee bit short. 5-2, I think, with us. I've been on it for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm not going to change my mind now. We had a little chat with Aidan Coleman, a little chat with Meg Nichols and some other guys. Ballyfad each way at 11s is pretty tempting. You know, there's that the horse that won at Ascot on the flat, Sober, which is probably an
the ground as well.
Probably an apt name for a racehorse today, mate.
Well, Sober Glory nearly won yesterday.
Sober Glory did nearly win yesterday. That's the first one, mate. Like, Sober's been really popular. No Drama this end has been fab since Talk the Talk and Mighty Park pulled out. That's where I am. What are you thinking outside of the first one? Obviously outside of the champion chase, as we covered it earlier. Where are you going today?
Yeah,
mate?
I mentioned it earlier. I really love Sign Danu in the bumper for Willie. We were all over the winner in the bumper on this day last year.
Yeah.
4-5 to 1. I think it's a great price. He's won it 14 times. Willie Mullins more than anyone else. So that's probably my nap of the day. I like Quilixios against Margeborough. I back Margeborough.
Yep.
But bearing in mind the favourites have a dreadful record in that race, I do like Quilixios each way. You disagree, but I think the Yellow Clay's got a chance in the BetMGM Cup. You're not having that at all.
Mate, I backed it for the Turners last year. Ran a blinder just behind Final Demand and the New Lion. It's had a rough year since that.
And it was a slow day for Gordon Elliott yesterday
exactly.
as well.
If you can find how he performed here last year, mate, he should be.
Are we still on the first race?
No, we're dotting around. We're dotting around the card.
I was thinking we'll be in race 2 about the back and forth.
And I do like the favourite in the cross country, but again, it's short.
Favori, yeah.
It's short.
Again, I was here in December when he fell, and then on trials day drifted all the way out to 16-1. Backed him that day, but 9-4. Particularly as you've got Stumptown just in behind him. Who's a professional round that cross country course. I really also like Van der Poel in the Grand Annual.
So does Ben Pauling.
Yeah, there's loads of extra place races. The Queen Mother Field's a wee bit tight. Other than that, it's big fields, loads of value, loads of extra places to be had on site today.
Throw one final one at me then, Matt. What catches your eye? I'll give you one final selection because everybody's tuned in. Come on, you're the man in the know.
Pressure.
Do you know, I've been keen on it for so long. I don't know how No Drama this end gets beat. The way you won here,
that's a big claim.
The way you won here, the way you won the Challow, you won head in chest here, Crookie. You've got Cobbers on board, and Paul Nicholls has said it's the nearest thing to Denman that he's ever had.
But until last year, the Challow hurdle form didn't translate to Cheltenham.
It didn't, and I'm hoping now I've told everyone it's got to win that it checks out again.
That'll get beat.
Matt, thank you very much indeed. That was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
That is about it from us here at Cheltenham. All that remains for me to say is enjoy your afternoon of racing. It's a busy, busy box here. I'm sure we'd all like to applaud the likes of Dean Holden, the Hull City assistant manager who joined us live. I think we should be applauding the BetMGM racing ambassador Meg Nichols, who looked resplendent on Ladies' Day. And what about John Obi Mikel? I mean, come on. Unbelievable. John Obi Mikel in Arsenal. Woo! You don't want to go there. Alex, thank you very much indeed. Gabby, brilliant by you.
You forgot Dan.
H&J will take the baton from me here at Cheltenham. All that remains for me to say to everybody listening, if you are into your racing, you are into Cheltenham, good luck, and I hope you pick yourself a winner. It's 1 o'clock.